for some hostile therapy.
All right. Get my microphone up here. Okay, welcome to Hostile Therapy. Me, Big Red. So far, we got Trent Uphill LT returning for another episode.
You're,
All right.
oh man, it's been a busy week, been a busy month, been a busy season. A couple full moons went by. Goddamn, there's been some shifts in the planets. We've retrograded. We've gotten out of retrograde. Aliens exist.
We know that for sure now.
The room of House of Representative motherfuckers confirmed it. Just to, even though it's something I feel like we've known for decades, but yeah, they're just saying it now. It's just
It's the worst hidden secret of all time, right?
word. Like you literally have an area that we can't go that markets itself on. This is where the aliens land at. But yeah, now we know that they exist for real, and yeah, they're not just illegal.
Yeah.
Only certain aliens have been branded illegal, and that's a topic for another day.
Right. And they don't come in flying saucers.
They come with
Don't
they
do
come
it.
with mild salsa.
I knew. I said, don't do it. I knew you
knew
were about to
I
say
was gonna
something.
do it.
I
was
knew
gonna
you
do
were about.
it.
I
Hell
set
yeah.
your ass up. That was my fault.
That was hell yes. Yep.
My
So
fault.
we both canceled. Boom.
I knew you were gonna go that way.
Police now be dying, niggas.
Just keep getting worse. Boy. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see. The priest is gonna be up here a little later.
What's been going on with you, Big Red? How was your week?
You really want to know? You really want to know? Man, shit. Well, today, my alternator went out. So,
That sounds okay.
yeah. I was just a trip trying to just go to the store on a bad battery, trying to go get an alternator part. It's almost like that thing where where you go to a job and they say you need ID to get the job and you don't have an ID or whatever. It's like, how can I get ID if I don't have ID? It's almost like, well, how can I get to the store to get an alternator if I don't have a good battery? And I had to kind of rig it up to kind of get to the store and get back. I was worrying I was going to be on the side of the road, but I made it. Got the alternator. Ain't got it fixed yet. Hopefully I'll do that tonight after the show. Hopefully tonight.
So you're gonna get your alternator fixed after the show? You know what?
Yeah, I know somebody. Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to say that
stays up all
mechanic
night.
works crack hours.
Yeah. He don't do crack, but
I know he's working them hours. I get it.
I used to know somebody that used to do work like that at all hours, and he would do some for just a little pebble, whatever. And the crazy thing is, because I ain't gonna mention his name, the crazy thing is he was the smartest one in his family, intelligent as hell, still is. And he got a hold of it, and it messed his whole life up. And so he had a brother. He had a brother who's just as intelligent, and he went on to do doctor-like things. He became a doctor, right?
Yeah.
And now later on in life, you go look at him, and you can't really tell who had the worst life. The one that was on crack, you would think had the worst life, right? Skinny, frail, teeth missing and stuff, which is true. This is how he does look, right? Then you go look at the doctor.
I mean, he had a brother who was on crack, so
actually, he looks worse. Actually, I wish he was on crack. He would look better.
Wow.
Because
I've seen a few fat doctors, which I'm like,
no, it's not even that. It's not even that. Like, I've seen that, and I know where you're going there with it. That would make sense. You remember you see Bill Cosby on the show, Cosby Show, and he would give medical advice, but he was like one of the biggest ones.
I mean, but he's an old motherfucker, so I get that. I'm talking like I had a doctor that was like dumb fat. Like, dude was morbidly obese and told me I need to eat more meat in order to lose weight. This motherfucker looked me in the face and said, I lost 50 pounds just eating sushi. Where did you lose it? Because I can still see what's up, Reese. Like I
Hey,
can still
y'all.
see the 50 pounds.
What's up?
Well, see that I could go with that because here's how I could rationalize that because doctors work insane hours all through the night. They have to go to sleep and then
He
somebody
had
got
his
to
own
beep.
practice where it closes at 5 o'clock. It was
Yeah.
an urgent care.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like the major doctors where they gotta go do surgery at 3 in the morning. They may be called in the middle of the night, and I can get that because they have a crazy lifestyle. So the one like you're talking about, he was like at an urgent care type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And where I say where the crackhead actually looks better when you let me give you an example. And when you go to a barber, you're probably gonna check out either how his head looks or how his client's heads look, and like,
Right.
okay, he does a pretty good job. I'm gonna sit in his chair. When you go to a cook, when you know a cook, when you expect them to cook well at their house as well at the restaurant where they work at. When I went to him, where he looks worse off at, he's telling me to kind of like your doctor would tell you to eat certain things, be healthy, eat vegetables, eat fresh fruits and stuff. And you're looking a little rough around the edges there. Maybe you need to drop a few pounds. He didn't have no legs.
Okay.
He had diabetes. It cut his legs off, both of them. And he's giving me this advice.
Damn.
This is where I said the crackhead was better shaped than he was.
You can come up off crack. You can try. You know what I'm saying? It's hard
Yeah.
drug. It's a man-made drug. They made that motherfucker hard than a bitch. But ain't really no coming back from paraplegism.
Yeah, there's no get up from that.
Plagiarism.
Yeah, you had it right. Paraplegic.
Plagiarism. The state of being a paraplegic.
Yeah, but there ain't no coming back from that, and it's hard to get advice. That what is that? What's the phrase? I know there's more than one. People who live in glass houses should throw stones, but there's another one that's kind of relatable to that. Almost kind of like do as I say, not as I do, type thing. I'm like, really?
I would have had to, and you know what? Me and him would have stopped being friends. I know because I would not have. You couldn't have stopped me from saying, "Bro, you ain't got a leg to stand on right now."
None.
Boom.
None.
He would Trenton, get the fuck out of my house. I was leaving anyway. Was you gonna kick me out? How?
Oh,
I'm going.
Yeah, every time. I swear I gotta get a button. How many times you get canceled?
Hey, free Palestine. I don't give a fuck.
I need a ding button every time, or a gunshot button every time you get canceled.
I don't give a damn.
You don't. What's going on, Breezy?
How y'all doing? What y'all talking about? Crackheads and everything?
We somehow I was talking about getting my car alternator changed, and we ended up on crackheads. Because I'm gonna get it fixed late at night. And it was like there was a crackhead hours to fix a car, but that's how I'm gonna get mine.
Those are the best workers. Hello.
Yeah. Well, somewhat. They will get on the job, but sometimes
you can deal with.
Go ahead. What you saying?
I'm doing it.
They'll work on it, but they'll take their time sometimes.
And then they'll come back.
That's right. That's right. They'll come back to it.
A little nod.
Mm-hmm.
They work good.
I needed a cigarette. That's what it was.
They some good workers.
I needed a pote. They don't say.
Surprised.
I needed a pote.
Them crackheads do a good job. You just gotta watch them.
Fix it.
And don't fully pay them.
That's right. That's the part. No, you
don't
pay them at all.
An ice house and a couple thumbnails. And I had you ready to go, nephew.
You don't pay them, or you don't pay them regular mechanic pay.
You might have to start off with
I rather pay for a regular mechanic.
Start off with a little sandwich, orange juice, get them started.
Because even if you're a good mechanic, I feel like if you're a crackhead mechanic, you know how to fix my car, but you're gonna fix it the way a crackhead would fix things. And I just don't think you should put crackheadism and mechanics together. I don't think you should work on heavy machinery when when you've done a little crack. What's up, Spark? When you've done a little crack that day, I just, or that night also. But who knows? You up before the crack of dawn. Maybe that's red ticket to an actual mechanic.
There is no crack of dawn for a crackhead. They don't sleep.
Just
That's literally just breakfast for them.
Right.
To get it done right.
That's just good morning. That's
a good morning at 8 p.m. They don't know what time it is for them.
You have people that do their thing, but they still work.
I feel like rich people do crack because it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Be surprised. Functional crack. They used to call them functional crackheads. Well, they still do their job and everything, but they get high.
I ain't gonna talk about who we know we used to do crack, but RIP to them. Shout out Bobby Brown.
They're doing crack.
Crack is still out there. I thought it was other stuff like fentanyl.
I don't know. I don't know too many crack.
Fentanyl out there. Shout out to the big homie fentanyl catching bodies.
That's what I be hearing. I don't really hear about crack no more.
Yeah, you don't. It ain't no epidemic. I don't think anymore with crack. It's like old school. It's like wearing bell bottoms now.
That's where we are. It's like, oh my God, are you doing crack? How retro.
It's like, doing crack is like seeing somebody that's like 40 years old with like jerseys and like 8 gold chains at the same time.
Nowadays, you can go to a museum of like national history and arts museum and shit and see a wax of Chris Rock from New Jack City. And this is what people used to do. It's called crack, kids. And you just
That's the 80s and 90s for you, right?
It just keep calling me. Calling me.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, have you ever watched the edited version of New Jack City? It's so ooh, I'm gonna fuck you up real bad, ninja.
I hate that.
Was that based on a true story?
CMB
like New Jack City was like, whose story was that? That was like the modern.
I mean, bits and pieces of it was.
Part of it was they just changed the names of some of those people.
Bits and pieces.
Honestly, anybody who sold drugs at a high level in New York was Nino Brown. There was Bumpy Johnson. There was Frank Lucas. There was because they all these movies follow the same beat. They come up, they fuck up the community. They give back to the community a little bit on Thanksgiving. They give them turkeys. And then the community strikes back and says, nah, get your crack dealing ass out of here, Wesley Snipes.
Then the cops hate on them. After they pay them, they don't think they get paid enough. Then they turn on them.
You got to go deep cover first. Literally every black cop movie is about, we all right, look, I know that you're a cop, but you know these streets better than anyone. We got to put you in the most dangerous black cartel in East Los Angeles we could find.
That kind of sounds like the beginning of Law and Order. When they talk at the very beginning.
Right.
Speaking of that, what they say these cases are not the cases of people.
Yeah, that part right there. These are
the names and the dates have been switched in order to protect the people that are actually involved in this shit.
Okay, guys. That told Trenton that he was wanting to get some therapy today. We're going to do a little game with him to start off with before we get into the regular topics for today. We're going to do the All in Your Feels game. This is where we put a word or image on the screen, and LT has 30 seconds to just tell us how that makes him feel. He can say it in words, he can say it in phrases and sentences, however he wants to say it. No right or wrong answer. Are you ready for that?
Let's do it. I have a separate microphone for this occasion. Let's do that shit.
Like you about to serenade somebody in the crowd at a Five Heartbeats concert.
Oh, shit.
I prefer the Temptations, but I understand that reference. There is a heart in this house tonight.
All right, let me put this thing on the screen.
I came to see David Ruffin.
What's this game?
All in Your Feels. This game. You're about to see.
Yeah,
we're going to pop some images or words on the screen, and we're going to see how this makes LT feel. You got 30 seconds. He doesn't know what the images are going to be. They're random.
No, I have no idea. Stevie Wonder over here.
All right. Are you ready for your first one?
Hell yeah.
Are you ready? Go.
Okay, here is your first one.
I look like
Put it
Red.
on the screen.
Black women hair.
Now,
I think of my
hold
mom.
on. I'll pop the
Oh,
time.
my
I'll pop
bad.
the time. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So black women hair. I think of my mom. The reason I think of that is because when I was a kid, my mom had like every type of fucking hair product in her damn bathroom, specifically black related stuff. Like when I think of black women hair, I can immediately smell hot six oil and pink hair oil and blue magic. I can smell it. Like sometimes I'll sniff a bonnet because it's comforting to me. The smell of a black woman.
Okay. All right.
How do you love a black woman?
All right. All right. Let's try your next one.
Word.
We don't know what's going to
Take
be.
that, Chris Rock.
Here we go. Be anything that pops up in your head.
Clown. Oh man. 30 seconds already gone. All right, boom.
Here we go.
First thing that pops into my head when I think of a motherfucking clown. Clowns are really murderers out here in Western society on some trill shit. Like I immediately started thinking of John Wayne Gacy, the Joker, who killed Jason Todd. Fuck the Joker. If I ever catch that nigga, it's on Gotham. I'm on everything I love on Martha and Thomas. Who else? Ronald McDonald, because McDonald's has killed more people than every clown put together. Like when you think about it.
Oh, that's deep. That's
They
deep.
use clowns to sell innocence, but they really sell evil. Ooh.
That's deep there. McDonald's clown has killed more people than any of the clowns they put in.
It was a Robot Chicken sketch that I got that from. It was the Joker sitting down with Ronald McDonald. He was like, "Hey, I know I killed a lot of people, but you, sir, have caught billions of bodies. Respect."
All right, let's go with the next one. Got three more. Here's number 3.
You're bologna sandwich. I think of, you know what? A lot of people say struggle meal for college. I didn't have bread in college. So when I think of bologna sandwich, I think of struggle meal. And it just makes me think of innovation, honestly. What do people create when they have nothing? What can you take from your refrigerator when literally all you have is some fucking lunch meat, some goddamn, some frozen vegetables, and some uncooked rice? You gotta make something pop off. You gotta make a little casserole. You gotta make a little bologna, broccoli, rice casserole or some shit. Protein heavy.
A delicacy in the home in the early years of LT. All right, let's go. What's the next thing we're gonna pop up on the screen? Tell us how this makes you feel. Pop the time on the screen.
I got that same fucking cardigan. That's honestly, it looked like homie didn't take the clothes out the laundry, the fucking dryer when he was supposed to. It looked like he did something wrong on some real shit. It looked like she was about to tell this nigga about himself. Also, like I said, white people don't be arguing about shit. Or, they argue about the shit that I wish that we just argued about, like, paying bills together. Or not even paying bills together, but the best way to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? When we should pay them. Like, they look like they was arguing. They look like some stock footage that you find in a fucking health book about healthy interactions with your classmates.
He did something wrong. Whatever happened, she did. She looked like she was pissed.
Yeah, she was about to swing on that nigga on some real shit. She was really about to. She was either about to swing or roast the fuck out of him. She was either about to give him, you know what? I'm tired. See me, or it was about to be, boy, if you don't get your ass.
All right. Got one more picture for you.
Let me see this.
Tell us how this one makes you feel.
Word. Oh man.
Your word is puberty. You're gonna tell us how that makes you feel.
Puberty. If I could sum it up in a few words. Jet beauty of the week. I did not know how to count, but I knew how to get to page 43. The Players Club. That came to home cassette tape way too early, and I saw it at a very young age. Shout out to goddamn Lisa. Honestly, the Brat fine too, but that's another tangent. HBO, 11 on Thursdays. Real sex, street interviews. In a nutshell, puberty was you know what, growing up in the information era, growing up in the era that I grew up in, my parents literally had nothing to teach me about sex. By the time I want to say my mom and dad both sat me down individually and together to give me the sex talk at like 11 years old. Now, I wasn't having sex, but because we had access to cable and the internet, I definitely know what the fuck sex is. And like Sex and the City is the #1 fucking show on the fucking planet at this time. Goddamn, Kaya was out there with the all you ladies pop that pussy like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's puberty was very luckily I got to go through it on my own. My form of puberty was bad body odor. That was my thing. Like my sweat glands was just they was active, you know what I'm saying? And I had gym like second period of the day. So for the rest of the day, because we didn't have showers in our locker room, which I get why motherfuckers is a little weird, but yeah, we didn't have showers in our locker room, and my deodorant was not strong enough to keep up with 13-year-old armpits after a game of kickball. It wasn't.
So, yeah, sounds like you had a bad puberty then.
Yeah, hell, I was short, I was chubby, and like literally, I was short, chubby with a deep ass voice. That's.
Did anybody else get to talk? I didn't get to talk. Sex talk, that is.
Yeah, I got the birds and the bees talk. I got the birds and the bees talk.
I didn't.
I was told not to do it.
I was about. That's usually what women get told.
I don't really think I got that
out there.
I don't think I got to do either or, to do it or not to do it. I didn't get either one of them. It was just like you just knew, like a look. I just got a look, like.
I remember it was crudy as fuck. I remember one day after
my dad's look could mean so many different things. So you just
I got that look from my dad.
Right.
It was in the best way possible. It was after one of my Pee-wee basketball games, and I had put up like 6 or 7 points. You know what I'm saying? I was out there like for Pee-wee, 6 or 7 points. I'm like the MVP on the court right now. So he came in my room after the game and was like, "Hey son, you did your thing out there. That was real good. I worked with you on your jump shot." And I was like, "Thanks, Dad," because that's how my voice sounded when I was like 10 years old. "Thanks, Dad. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that shit." And before he walked out my room, he was like, "Hey, son." And I looked back at him and he threw something at me and I caught it. And it was a pack of Lifestyle condoms. And he didn't say nothing. He just nodded. He was like, and I was like,
"You got music on." I heard somebody playing some Blondie music in the background. What was that?
I was about to say, niggas going to the disco.
I was wondering what the sound effect was. I said, "Oh shit, Trent got a track put to what he's saying today. Instead of getting froze and put out, he got a track put to his words." Oh shit!
It wouldn't have been Blondie though. I mean, I'm not hating on the
sorry,
choice.
that was my phone. I'm sorry about that.
I
like old school. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say that makes sense for y'all too, because I say that's a little bit before LT's time.
I need some.
I think you can't listen to great music. I'm just saying, I wasn't expecting that from LT.
Not Blondie. Maybe some Donna Summer, definitely.
She died this year, didn't she? She died this year or last year?
Did she die this year? Goddamn, what?
Oh no, she's been dead.
Okay.
I feel better.
At least 2 years.
Okay, maybe so. I just thought about it because I think somebody mentioned her. I saw some podcast.
2 or 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, she's been.
Damn, R.I.P. to young Lord Donna Summer. Shit, bad girls.
All right, let's get to the important matters of the show. We're going to talk about communication issues. What is a communication issue that you have from the opposite sex? What is something that you wish the opposite sex understood about how you listen or communicate certain ideas or ideals. And I'm sure you guys have plenty of them. So, what?
Oh yeah, I got my window open.
Oh, okay, shit.
Hey,
They,
chill.
they trying to get on the show too, obviously. Is that a male dog or a female dog?
Um, I honestly, you ever just hear dogs barking in your neighborhood but never see them motherfuckers? That's how it be. Like I've never been able to put a face to this fucking dog. I know the cats. I see the cats. They're very present. Shout out my nigga Salem. Shout out my nigga Huey P. Newton. Shout out my nigga Cam Newton. I name all my cats after Black Panthers.
All right. So we're going. With that being said, we're going to give everybody a couple minutes chance to get out what they want to say. Communication issue wise, what they have an issue with the opposite sex, with how they listen or speak, or act or perform, whatever. Sparky T, I'll let you go first. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to start off with. We'll come back around, of course. You got anything extra to say after that? You got plenty of time to say what your piece is. We'll go around to Prezy, then LT after that. Then, of course, me. Let me pop the time up here. Find it. My thing here. It disappeared on me. Yeah, I cannot find it. Oh, here it is. Here we go.
Ready? Go!
Okay, so I gotta think about it. When I think about men and communicating, one thing I think that men usually think that they're right. I mean, and I think women think they're right too, but men like always think that they're right. That's an issue for me. I a lot of times think that or feel like they think that their word is more important. You know what I'm saying? Like their word is more important than our word. It's kind of like one of those what they say goes, kind of like that manly role or the society, like the role that society has kind of put on men and women, kind of like their word is more important than our word. So a lot of times when you communicate and you try to get your point across or whatever, they ain't really listening to what you're saying because they so busy thinking about how they're right or how they gonna tell you that they're right or the next point that they're right you know, that it can cause an issue. The other thing that I find sometimes with men and communicating is they want to ask you a particular way, and what they think might be a yes or no answer might not be a yes or no answer. There might be more to it that has to be put in there to give a accurate answer. Everything is not always just cut dry. Um, and when you communicate, I feel like you got to be open and to receive what the other person is saying, open to listen to them. We trying to get our answers and stuff like that, or the rebuttals before the person really gets it out, then you ain't really listening to nothing. And if you really think that you're right and you really think that the other person ain't right, sometimes you're not open to hear what they're saying because you don't think that there's any possibility to what they're talking about could be true because what you're saying, is law. And so with that, I think that it closes people off, it closes men off sometimes, and they're not willing to listen to us as women. We think different, we communicate different, we be in our feelings and our emotions, and sometimes feelings and emotions are needed. Um, and I think that a lot of times in communicating with men, they try to take that out, and everything is so black and white. And sometimes it's not just black and white. There's gray areas that we need to address.
I'm sorry, Sparky, but you are wrong. You are totally wrong. You're not right.
I'm sure that you feel that way.
All right. Preezy. Hey, good. There's some good points there, by the way. Preezy, you are up next. Tell us something near and dear to your heart that you think that men F up when it comes to communicating with women or with yourself as a woman.
Are you ready? Go!
I think when it comes to relationships with men, the biggest problem could be criticism, defensiveness, or like sometimes feeling misunderstood or uh, not hearing each other. Men and silence. I think women, I don't want to be attacked by this, but I think women are more communicators than men. I think men just sit back and, I, maybe it doesn't really phase them like it would situations when it comes to women. Um, like Sparky T said, it's I'm right, you're wrong, man of the house, this and that. But if you don't have communication in your relationship, you really have nothing. Um, I don't think people communicate well. I don't think I just think that men just sometimes don't want to hear it. Um, let things go. It doesn't phase them, and that causes a problem too when it's time to communicate about how whatever's going on in our relationship, everything should stop, not be put off. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it another time, or I don't want to hear it. So that brings on the argument. And I just feel when you're in the relationship, if something is bothering me, I think that you should take the time to listen to how I feel and vice versa. It works both ways. But communication is a big thing when it comes to a relationship. And if you don't have it, you don't have anything.
Okay. All right. LT, you're up next. Tell us something that the opposite sex gets wrong with how they communicate with men.
Are you ready? Go!
Damn, I actually wish I thought about it. Because honestly, I feel like people across the board, when we communicate, we're looking for certain things. Like to everyone's point, like we don't, nobody communicates the exact same way as you do, and you don't communicate the exact same
Hold,
way as someone
hold,
else.
hold that thought right quick.
You're,
There's some
yeah.
music in the background.
Oh shit, my fault. My fault.
Yeah. Just so we don't get flagged.
Now I had a theme going.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
Word. So goddamn, the only thing that I guess what I see women and men having a miscommunication on is how we vent to each other. A man doesn't really we vent, and it kind of gets considered complaining or whining, and it's unattractive when it comes from men. Women vent, and it's more accepted. It's more, complaining for a woman is more accepted. They're more allowed to do so. But a lot of men don't want to a lot of men don't want to sit around and hear that shit. I'm going to be honest, because we don't have to, I guess, deal with the same amount of things some of the same time. So when we're just trying to vocalize how we feel on an individual level when it comes to our jobs or our or our relationships outside of romance, just how we move with our coworkers or our friends, what I'm saying, I think men and women communicate very differently on how we express the things that are bothering us. And I think the main difference is men feel like women spend a lot of time just talking about the issue instead of doing something about it, and men spend more time, I guess, just not talking. To be honest, like that, I feel like that's the man's biggest communication flaw, is that we don't talk as much as that we, and then when we do talk, we're not saying the right things because we've never been encouraged to speak. We've never been encouraged to express or even complain about the things that are going on within our day. So I think that I think we need to make a bridge on men being more emotionally available to the complaints of women, and women being more emotionally receptive to the complaints of men.
Okay. All right. I think we're gonna come back to that because I think two of y'all have kind of voiced about how we speak when it comes to having discussions on both sides, and how you have problems with how we communicate against both sides and how we actually care about an issue and how we talk or don't talk, lack of talking, or when we want to talk about it later and you want to talk about it now. We'll come to that. I got some things about that to say. But let me go with mine right quick. And of course, if you have more than one, we can go through that, but we'll come back to it. So let me go with mine.
Are you ready? Go!
One of mine is the emotional component. It's kind of what we've been talking about a little bit. Is women trying to bring us to their emotional level. Not all of them, but I'm saying the ones that want us to open up more. And that's fine to a degree because you don't want that type of guy to act like you. And that's, well, at least that's what it sounds like when you say, I want you to be more softer. I want you to open up more. And the problem, why that happens is because more likely when we're at work, or when we're at friends, we're around men most of the time. And we are not allowed to be that way. 23 hours, 24 hours, whatever it is, how much time we spend that time with them. And men mostly communicate through physical cues, not verbal cues. We're very visual when we see things. We're not very verbal when it comes to things. So when we can spot when another guy has a problem with us, it ain't even got to be with the change of the voice. We can just see how men can look at us and we know whether there's going to be a problem or not. We can tell and look at there's going to be a danger to us or not from 50 feet away. And even with the beauty thing, we look at women more as visual things. Not things, I don't want to say it like that, but we look at women more visual than women look at things as visual. So we're brought up to not really express ourselves, kind of how the LT was saying. We'll do things physically quicker than women will. And that's also a way to threaten another person, another guy, to stop putting us in a place of danger. So we're not used to really settling a lot of, I'm not saying that we're cavemen, but we're not used to settling a lot of our differences with a lot of words. We try to be concise, we try to get it over with real quickly. And to a thing that Preezy was saying and LT was saying, when we're having a discussion and you come to us with a problem, there's two things that usually happens. We want to solve the problem. But the thing that happens is we want to process it maybe later. Maybe we want to think about it for a night or for the next day. And when you come and you say you want to fix it now, or you want to talk about it now, it almost seems like an aggressive type nature to guys. Not saying that's what it really is, but if we say or put off an attitude that I don't want to talk about right now, it's because he really doesn't want to talk about it. He wants to either think about it, process it, and come back at it, and then come back and maybe give you the correct answer. But if you force him to talk about it right then and there, then it's almost like you're coming at him like a guy, because guys are aggressive. They want, if they're in an argument, if they want to fight or something, they'll push the envelope. They won't allow you to process and think about what the problem is if they're aggressive towards you. So the best thing, if he don't want to talk right then, you're never going to get a good answer out of him if you try to push the answer out of him. The best bet, let him talk later, if he will talk. Now, if he's one of them people that just don't never talk, he don't never want to talk about an issue, then that's his problem then that's not your problem anymore. But a lot of times, guys like to hear a problem, think about it, and then come back to it. But pushing them and saying, hey, I want to talk about this problem right now, we need to fix it right now, it's never going to work with a guy. Because he's going to look at it as a form of aggression.
I'll interject. It depends. Are we talking about an issue because here's how I am. And you know what? I'll even build on exactly what you were saying. Whether it be my girlfriend or any female friends that I have, they're explaining to me a problem or they're venting to me about something. My man brain, my logic, my left side of my brain takes over, and it's, do you want me to solve this or fix this for you right now? Like, is there anything I can do to solve or fix this issue for you? Like, if you're telling me about a dude that's getting on your fucking nerves or some shit, do you want me to beat his ass? If you're telling me about a girl that's getting on your nerves or some shit, do you want me to talk shit about her with you? And that's where it starts to divulge when, we're talking about issues that are only present for that person. But when the issue is you, I notice that men and women both handle this the exact same. We as people, we're a lot less receptive to when someone has an issue with us that they want to talk about right then and there. I don't see, just in my personal experience, I don't know. How many people are open to, oh, you want to have a discussion about the issues you're having with me? Sure, let's do that right now.
Sparky and Prison, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, because I've heard a lot of women say this. It's not always about if you could bring an issue to the table. It's not always about having the issue solved. It's that you just want to get it out. You just want to talk about it. You don't necessarily need it solved. You just want to talk about it and just blow off some steam. I've been told this a lot of times from other women. I just want to ask your opinion. Is that true?
Sometimes you just want somebody to just listen. Like if you're
Yeah.
like, let's say you real close to your dude. You know, you got some people that, guys and girls, they like best friends in a relationship and stuff like that. If that's our vibe and I got a problem with somebody, I might just be coming to you to tell you. Not that I want you to do nothing. I just want you to listen. Cause you my ace. You know what I'm saying? We deal with everything together anyway. So let me run this bullshit by you. It'd be more like that. Like, let me tell you this bullshit that happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily want you to respond or do nothing about it. I might just be telling you what's going on. I think more, like that. I don't always, but I'm not gonna say I'm not a big communicator because I communicate, but I'm not the one that always want to do all that talking. I don't have a problem with let's talk about it and then we'll come back and talk about it later because I kind of need to process too.
Yeah.
And when I'm in this situation where people want to talk about it right now and you want to answer right now, that becomes combative for me. 'Cause I'm not about to give you the
Yeah.
answer right the fuck now. You know what I'm saying? I need to think about this shit. So, and when somebody don't give me the chance to do that, it becomes I'm like, cause now you're coming at me and telling me all of your complaints and criticism. Now shit, you badgering me, you beating me down. You
Yeah.
haven't given me a chance to, you know what I'm saying, to respond, process, or do any of that. So I think some of it ain't even about the sexes. Some of it is just about, how some people communicate, how you learn to communicate, and different things like that. But
It could be
everything
tone
don't need an
too.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
hell
could
yeah.
be
And sometimes
how
it
you
ain't
come
what you
in.
say; it's how
Right.
you say it. Because I'm not
Yeah.
your kid, and it's not what you say; it's how you say it. And it's also don't bring me shit on no garbage can lid. Like you could be trying to tell me the best thing in the world, but it's about your presentation.
Yeah.
It's if you don't bring it to me on a platter, you bring it to me on a garbage can lid. Well, guess what? I'm gonna deal with it like you brought it to me on a garbage can lid. So sometimes it's not the content. Sometimes it's the delivery.
Yeah.
Yep.
What you think about that, Preezy? Do you think a lot of times when you're bringing a subject to the table that it's more that you want him to listen, not solve a problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes, you just want the person to listen. But I'm the type of person I like to, if it's bothering me, I have to talk about it. And it's, tomorrow's not promised. And that's how I look at things. I want to, hey, I got something on my mind. And I just want you to listen. Sometimes I just want you to listen. You don't have to make a comment or anything. Just
You know,
hear
I'm
me
a
out.
go
Hear
ahead.
me out.
Go ahead.
And
I
I
was
like to
about to
hold
say,
stuff in.
mhm. I was about to say, and like sometimes speaking on personal experience, that gets on some guys' nerves that you don't want us to help you solve the problem. Like we want to help you, and you're like, why don't you want me to help you? And you're just saying, well, we just want you to listen. I've heard, like I said, I've heard a lot of women say that. It's like, what?
Now,
No, we don't want
I'll
you to
go back.
always
Could
solve
be
the
you just
problem. We
want
just
you
want
just
you to
want your
listen
opinion.
sometimes.
Could be
The reason
could be a
that's, I'm
situation we
sorry, go
just
ahead.
want your opinion. We don't really need your help. We just may want your opinion about something.
Like
You know,
women can function sometimes
yeah,
on
you can
their
phone.
own. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like we can problem solve. Like we can handle some shit.
right,
You know what I'm saying? But so sometimes when you go to talk about a thing and it's always that he wanna fix it for you, now it feels like, well, damn, do you think I'm inadequate? Why do you think that I need you to fix everything for me?
right.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Now
I could
my other
actually answer
thing with
that for you. Like, it's not even thinking that you're inadequate in a way. Like for me personally, like in the most respectful way that I can say it. Like, not even trying to be a dick or an asshole about it.
if you usually have
Because
to say that
and
first,
so
you usually know you being a
I
dick
gotta
or an
say that
asshole.
Go
because
Go
ahead.
ahead.
it's gonna sound rude. It's gonna sound rude how, like, but this is me expressing myself to either my female friends or my significant other. If I have to hear about the same issue Not talking about an issue that you're just telling me the first time, like this is some crazy shit that's happened to you and I got to hear this shit. But if I have to hear about the same issue over and over again, and not saying an issue with me, like if I'm doing something wrong and we keep having the same conversation, that's a whole nother conversation. But if it's, again, you having issues with a friend, you got a female coworker, or a female coworker that's always annoying you. If I'm hearing about this on a regular basis, I know that I can't solve it, but the way a man like myself responds to that kind of thing is by, well, have you tried talking to HR? Have you tried getting transferred? Do you want to look for a different job? Because men, and again, I guess just men like myself, I can only go over the same issue over and over again before I'm tired of talking about it. And I think most men think that, well, if you're like, I get this about women. You don't want the problem fixed. You just want to be able to share the problem. You just want to know that, what I'm saying, you have a safe space in which you can talk to, this person that you're inhabiting space with. You want to know that you have someone that, understands. Damn, that shit was crazy. I know, right? That bitch crazy. I can't believe that she took your stapler and then gave it back. Was like, oh, I forgot to give you back your stapler. That bitch crazy. But like, you just want someone to validate the feelings that you were feeling from that crazy interaction that you had. If that interaction becomes an everyday or every week or every month type of thing, me as a person, and I just feel like this way because I am a man, but me as a person, I'm going to say, okay, I want to help you solve it. Because I want this to stop happening, because I'll go to that emotional level with you. I'm a Cancer. I'm a water sign. I can literally make other people's feelings my own feelings. Oh my God, they said what to you? I'm just as mad as you are now about that thing that they said to you and not to me. Oh my God, that's crazy. But I can only do that but so much. After a certain point, I'm gonna be like, okay, look, you obviously like arguing with your coworker, and you like telling me about it. You just like doing this because you're not trying to change it or solve it. I give you advice, I give you pointers, I give you my opinion, but every day it's the same thing. That's just me personally. I can't speak for all men.
I think that's just people though, because I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear you talk about the same shit over and over and over again. And I'm a woman. That I don't think that, like, for me, that don't have nothing to do with man or a woman. Like, I just don't want to hear you coming and talking to me about the same shit over and over and over again, because then it comes across, like you said, LT, it comes across like it's a complaint, or like you fucking whining about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't just talked about it once, and we dealt with it. You done came and talked about it again, and you done talked about it again. Now you done brought it up again. Like, yeah, either you complaining about that shit, it comes across as you bitching, or you whining, or whatever. So yes, I don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over again either. And that ain't about man or woman. It just get like you said, it's tiresome. It's like I'm beating my head up against the wall. We gotta talk about this shit again. So yeah.
I think it's just more common amongst women because women speak more. You know what I'm saying? Just in y'all natural interactions as y'all as friends, y'all speak more. Men can literally sit in a room for hours silently, as long as there's a blunt, maybe something to watch. 2K. If we got 2K or Madden, we not talking unless it's shit.
Men can figure out a whole person's day just by a head nod. We can figure out if they on our side, if something's about to go down, if something's wrong, just how they do the head nod. But what I was going to say earlier is because men don't usually speak a lot and don't talk about their problems a lot, when they do speak with another man about a problem, it's a big deal. And it's like, oh, you want my help to help you solve a problem. We'll talk about it and I'll help you solve the problem. And then it's a big deal. It's a huge deal when a man will come to you and ask you, your friend, the boss, father, talking to son, whatever, comes and wants your help about something. So when it switches over to the other gender, it's like, okay, we want to do the same thing for you because, hey, you're the closest one to us. If we're in a relationship or we're married, like, oh, you want to talk about the problem you had at work today, the problem you had with some children today, talk to me. I want to help you solve the problem. And if you just want to listen, you just want him to listen. So it's like, damn, you don't think I'm important? Not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's how it is because men don't talk that much. So when it does happen, it's like, light bulb goes out. I'm like, oh wow, I feel
We don't
really
really get to lead by our words a lot. We only get to
have a
lead by
conversation
action.
with you, and I'm gonna help you solve the problem. Then the women, will speak to you, and it could go either way, like I say. But if you just want to listen, I'm like, listen, I want to help. I want to help you. This makes me feel important. Makes me feel like I'm a part of your life and stuff. You just want me to listen. That's all. And then there's the other side of that where there's a certain ratio, as you guys talking about. If you're talking about the same problem, at some point, if you do it too many times, it's not listening anymore. It's just nagging. And we'll say that about guys too. I think it rarely happens with guys as much as it does women, because it's been shown, scientifically, that women use way more words to communicate than men, to get their point across. Scientifically, women just use, I don't know how many more words it is. I got to look up the study for that. But women use way more words to communicate than guys do. But it's just a big thing when a guy comes to you, wants to help solve a problem, and if a woman your girlfriend, your wife wants to talk to you, and you thinking you'll be able to solve a problem, you feel important, you feel glad that this happens, but it's off-putting when you say you just want us to listen. But we don't understand that also helps you out too. That's solving a problem for you too. It may be just to reduce your stress, just to talk about it, but we don't usually look at it that way, just to listen to you. But we want to solve the problem and help you out and make you feel good. So it's just different perspectives of how both sides look at it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's just understanding how men and women communicate and do things differently a lot of times. We always want to help. Most guys, anyway, want to help and try to solve the problem, but that's not what it's about for you all the time. Most guys just don't want to talk to another guy just for him to listen. When we ask a question, we want a problem solved. If we don't get the problem solved, we're going to keep it to ourselves. And
I
that's
think
what
it's because we're not used to dealing with feelings, so when we have to deal with
another guy's going to solve a problem, or we don't think another woman's going to solve a problem, so we keep it to ourselves. And sometimes we suffer for that because we don't think nothing's going to get solved. We don't always just want to talk about things. We really don't want to talk about things. We want something solved. If we come to you with something, a problem, an issue, we want something solved. We don't want to just talk a lot of times. We want something solved. It's different on the other side, I think.
Come to West Day.
Oh, I know y'all got this one.
But I honestly, I think because we're not used to dealing with our emotions, seeing someone sit inside their emotions for an extended period of time is uncomfortable to us. That's why when we see our friend down or depressed, men are doers. Not to say women aren't doers, because women do a lot of shit. But when it comes to, someone venting their frustrations to us, our natural reaction is we want to do something about it. And I think that's just the difference between our genders. That's just the difference between our sexes. We want to do something about it. We want to, commit an action to it. And women are there to listen. They're there to empathize. They're there to relate and feel the feelings that you were going through. And honestly, that's how a person, man or woman, makes it in this world, by being able to do shit and by being able to relate to shit, by being able to feel shit. Because when you're in this world, shit is going to get done and you're going to feel shit as well. So the fact that we aren't really as accustomed to speaking about things, when we finally get in that position too, we react how pretty much we're trained. If someone says something ill to you, you're taught to defend yourself in a physical manner. If something happens to you, you're taught to put action behind it as a man. I think women pay a lot more attention to detail. I think women I don't think they're taught this, but I think they just naturally listen better because they have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't just physically overpower people in order to do things for themselves. They have to use a lot more of their interpersonal skills to maneuver throughout this world. So you see it in a large part play out in our relationships with each other. So I think men just have to get to a point to where and there's no class that we can fucking go. I mean, there are speech classes, but every man just has to get to a point where, you know what I'm saying, but they find someone to talk to. first step is finding someone that you can talk to, whether it be a therapist, a hostile therapist, whoever the fuck it is. Find someone that you can talk to and start learning to do that more with other people around you. Like sometimes you got to be able to speak to a fucking stranger. Like everyone isn't going to be your friend. Everyone isn't going to be from your neighborhood or from, people that you know or people that speak the way that you speak and communicate how you communicate. So you have to expose yourself to different environments. You have to expose yourself to different people. And that means exposing yourself to or allowing yourself to feel things. So men, we need to allow ourselves to emotionally go where women want us to go when they bring these arguments. So instead of just giving the damn, that's crazy, that's so wild that she did that, I can't believe it. Like we make it will make them feel better. An empowered woman is an empowered man, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're cohabitating with each other, if you're interacting with each other, and that's on a romantic or a platonic level.
One thing I'll add that I do not like, and I know probably most people don't. I can even say I've been guilty of that as well. Is this is a rule I try to stay with? Is you should not complain more about strangers than you praise your love. You don't know these people that you're talking about and complaining about, but the person that you live with, hang out with, romantically involved with, if you complain more about people you don't know versus the person you praise that you do know, I think that's a problem. I think you should practice praising the person or kids.
Okay.
I'm not even talking about, just your lover, your kids, family member, anybody. But mainly we're talking about, the person you're with. You should praise the person that you're with more than you complain about the strangers you don't know.
Honestly, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
Which one would affect more? The people you don't know or the people you do know?
Anyone in your immediate surrounding is always going to bear more effect on you. Like I don't give a fuck how real the storyline and Real Husbands of whatever the fuck or Real Housewives of whatever the fuck is getting. I don't give a fuck what the fuck just popped up on Shade Room. The people in your actual life are affecting you a lot more than people that you don't have to deal with on too many people. One, like just outside of coworkers, like the fact that you made it strangers is wild. But yeah, there are other people in your lives that you literally have to deal with, or you tell yourself you have to deal with, more so than the people you're actually intimately involved with. And the people you're intimately involved with are a reflection of you. So you should always praise them more than you're praising anything else, because at the end, like even though like it could be considered arrogant to praise yourself more, they're a reflection of you. You're in their environment, they're in your environment, you're inhabiting the same space. You're becoming one, essentially. So they need to be a good reflection of you. You need to be a good reflection of them. You both should be the most important aspect of each other's lives, more so than a stranger.
Let me go with this one with this when it comes to work thing. I hate hearing this phrase. It's true in some instances, but for people who work a lot, they have businesses or they just work 12-hour shifts, crazy amount of hours. That phrase, well, if you really want time with me, you'll make time. And sometimes people are just that damn busy, and they're in their mode where they're working, they're making ideas, they're calling people, they're not avoiding you, they're just busy. I'm not talking about the one that does not respond whatsoever and doesn't make time for you whatsoever. But there are some people, guys, it's probably gonna go both ways, where we are actually working and we don't have time to text and call back.
24 hours.
5 minutes. Yes.
That's crap.
Yes. We are actually
24
busy.
hours. I don't want to hear that.
You will survive. No, yeah, 24 hours, yeah.
24 hours a day. Take a couple of seconds to text. Don't give me that crap.
Yeah, that's completely fine. That's completely legitimate.
You could text. It takes 2 seconds to say, "Hey, how you doing?"
That's completely legitimate.
But you wouldn't be happy with that, though.
Yes, I would.
You'd be like, oh, because you're going to respond, and you want him to respond back after that. And then it's gonna hold conversation. And that's
No,
taking
you
us out of
say
our
it.
group.
I just text to say hello. I'm busy, but I just was thinking about you. That's it. Don't give me that crap. Next question, please.
But no one
I don't want to
so
hear
what
that.
did people do when there were no phones, when there were no texting? Did they just die off and the relationships didn't
They
work
We
wrote
no
wrote
more?
letters.
notes. We wrote notes.
Wrote notes. What
Yeah,
you mean?
motherfuckers
There's
was really
notes.
out here.
Wrote
Don't,
notes.
hey, look,
Wrote notes.
there's some letter like
Wrote letters.
there's whole plays written off of letters to each
Yeah.
from
It takes
betrothed
time to send a
lovers.
note and a letter though.
Say you want to talk to that person's on your mind, you're gonna make it happen. I don't care what you doing.
My dearest,
Well, if
Support
that's the case,
I
is
hope
you
this
can
important.
letter
talk
finds
all
you well.
day.
It's
You can talk
support
all day if that's the
exclusive.
case. But
No,
we're
you don't
Motherfuckers
have
was telegraphing.
Uh,
Motherfuckers was doing
your
the Morse
partner.
code and shit.
Listen, you don't have to talk all day. It
Let me
takes
see
a
that
couple of
thing.
seconds
Stop.
to send a text and say,
Pulling
"Hey,
pennies.
was thinking about you. I know you're busy. Have a good day. I'll call you later." Don't give me that. I don't want to hear it. There's
Why not just call
nothing.
it?
Just
There is
call
nothing that you are
to
doing
say
for 24 hours to say that
love
you're busy.
him.
There
Don't-
is.
No, impossible.
And
What
when
job are you doing that you ain't stopping to eat? You ain't
Oh,
stopping.
I don't eat sometimes. So if you want to really go with that, yeah,
So
I
Alright,
go
you are
cool.
working
So you don't be
24
shitting.
hours a
You
day.
don't be
You're
shit.
telling
So
me-
you don't be shitting or
You're
pissing.
telling me you ain't gonna
Yeah,
pee? You ain't
yeah,
gonna
I
get
will.
to the.
Yes, I will. I don't want to
Excuse
text
me.
you while I'm on the
You
toilet. I
are
don't want no
working
shit
24 hours a
on the
day.
phone when I'm texting.
20. Nah, please.
So what?
No,
I mean, so you're
It's
telling
almost
me,
it's
I don't
almost
want to hear that.
unbelievable. It's not
Get
even
out
almost. It's
here.
super unbelievable
No
bullshit
way.
because a lot of the
what
work
did
we
people do
do
before
today is based
phones
on
then? When
that.
there was no phones and able to text, you telling me no one got through that?
We
People,
don't
but I'm
know.
telling
We
you,
don't know
people
what they
wrote
think of
letters.
being in that generation.
We
We don't know.
do.
And they
They
pulled up
waited.
sometimes.
They
Sometimes
waited. That's what
nah,
they
sometimes they
did.
pulled up on some shit.
Well, we don't have to wait. They didn't have a choice. We got choices. And don't
Yes,
tell me
right.
24. You doing something 24 hours a day. You can't pick up that phone and say, "Hey, how you doing?
And
I'm a
it's some
little bit
bullshit
busy.
that
I'll talk
like
to you
people
later."
didn't wait
Get out of
because the
here,
population of the
buddy.
planet was always rising, regardless of the time
Stop.
frame, regardless of the
I don't want to
communication
hear that.
technology that was available. We was always meeting up and fucking.
No.
Motherfuckers found if motherfuckers gonna figure out how to
No
do anything, we
excuse.
gonna figure out how to link
That's a
up.
poor excuse for
When
somebody
do you,
that don't want to do it.
My people gonna talk to
you're
your
right.
people.
I
Like we gonna
don't. I
figure out
want to
how to
wait
get
until
If you
after
care
work.
about that person, you're gonna make that call. You're gonna send that text. I don't want to hear it.
what you doing.
I don't think that just because you don't call us in the text don't mean that you don't care about that person
That's
though.
what I'm
I'm not
saying.
saying
And I
that.
think
And
that,
he's
but
saying
that's what you just said though. You just said if you
no.
call, or you said if you care about that person, you're gonna find a way, or you're going to call or text.
But
Just
what's the
because you
excuse
don't
of you
call or
not
text
sending
don't.
that text?
But it's wait a minute, hold on. It don't have to be an excuse though, because an excuse is like you're making an excuse. It might not be an excuse. Like there are times, sometimes when you can be in your rhythm, in your groove. Y'all might work
Yeah.
alternate hours. One might work in the day, one might work in the night. When I my free time, your ass is sleep, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there are times when sometimes you can be ships in passing, and I don't think that that means that you don't care about a person because you didn't take the time to call a text. Just because I ain't take time to pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, boo boo, I thought about you today," don't mean that I don't care about you. I love your ass. That's why I'm out here getting this motherfucking bag so that we can do whatever, 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 whatever. And
But I,
you
I
know,
I don't think that you can save 24 hours in the day.
Oh, not 24
Yeah.
hours. I'm
You
just saying
said
at work. I know I said at work. If you're at work and you're doing something and you're in a rhythm, then yeah, sometimes you don't want to text right there because that takes you out of your rhythm. It gets you off of the mindset you had. Maybe you had an idea and then you interrupt something with, "Oh, let me text her right quick, make sure she know I love her." She gonna know that regardless. I hope. I hope that's not gonna end the
it's not
relationship.
really
Here's
about
what, even
love.
if it
It's
happens for
not about
24
love. It's
hours
just
in
to
the
say,
day,
just sending a text to just say, "Hey."
let's say like this, even if you miss
It's
that
not gonna kill
24
you.
hour loop, even if you miss that
it ain't
24
gonna
hour
kill them
time
if you don't
frame,
text either.
I
That's
think
what
No,
I'm
what
it
Goofy
saying.
is
depends on
saying
that
though,
person
even
though.
on the 25th hour, on the next day at least, there should be a hey, sorry I didn't speak to you yesterday. I think that the thing that disconnects us or that disconnects this conversation is, yeah, you're just talking about at work. Preezy is talking about if we go 24 hours the whole day
Yeah, I
and I
get
haven't
that.
heard from you. So I think there should be some
Right.
context. It's like,
Right.
is it established? Do you know I'm out here getting this money? Like, do you know that, or are you just someone that I just met? You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you're my significant other, we've been doing this. You know that I go to work and I be busy than a motherfucker, and I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't. There are gonna be some days where I can't get to my phone to say, "Hey, I was thinking of you. This what I'm doing." But if you know what I'm saying, if this is some shit where we just met and it seems like I'm ghosting you. You know what I'm saying? So I think there needs to be context laid down. I get what everyone is saying. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're too busy and even though you are on your phone, even though like a lot of the work we do, you're on your phone. Sometimes you are just too busy, too engulfed in what you're doing to, focus and locked in to stop and divulge, because you'll have the response that you said, Big Red. They're going to want a conversation. That's going to open up the door to them taking time away from the time I need to build myself for the both of us, maybe.
It's cool in the beginning when you just say hello. And that's it. I was gonna say it's cool in the beginning when you just say hello back, and then eventually like, well, what you doing? I'm at work. How's work going? Oh, don't forget to come by the house. Hey, you want to go watch this movie later on? I heard it's good. It's got 5 stars on
But
this
you can
IMDb.
say, hey,
I ain't got time to talk. I gotta go.
But you can establish that in the beginning. Hey, just say what's up. Can't talk. Talk to you later. Something like that. You can.
She ain't gonna like that though.
You can abbreviate.
Some women ain't gonna like
and that's something that you two have to establish in your relationship.
You dictate the conversation. Not to say you have to, but sometimes you have to be stingy with your time, even with your significant other. Hey, babe, sorry that I haven't been able to speak to you. I'm super busy. We'll talk when I get home.
That's different.
But
that's
some
totally
people
different.
don't. I've dealt with someone
that's
when
totally
they don't
different.
care about that. I want to have a
Because this
conversation.
conversation is about communication, so there's intricate levels of communication that have to be
Right.
taken. It's never just one thing is going to be the end all be all.
And that's something you two have to communicate about.
But there are some women.
That's why communication is important.
If you say something, you say what you're doing, and then you go back to work, and you don't respond for 6 to 8 hours because you're still at work. They're like, oh, so you must be doing something else that's more important than me. And it's like, no, I'm at work.
Depend on your occupation.
Yeah,
if I'm working in the jails. If I'm working in the jails, I can't really pick up the phone. I mean, there's ways I can do it, but if I'm working inside the jails and I'm on the floor 8 hours, that person knows my occupation. So it's different. It's all about communication.
A person that you're intimate with that doesn't care about the guidelines, regulations, and requirements for you to be effective and productive at your occupation, the thing that is making you income, then they're the problem, man or woman. If you got a nigga that's blowing you up, so you just not gonna respond, so you just not, okay, like just send you a bunch of.
I've heard people say that you're the problem, and they'll be like, oh, you'll find a way. If you really want to talk to me, you'll find a way. I'm like, what about after work?
And then boom, here's how communication. Like, see, I'm petty because I'll go there with a person. I'll step away from my job.
It's all up to that
5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So what you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about that is more important than the X amount of money that I should be making this hour, but I'm stepping aside to talk to you about? What's on your mind? You want to talk about you want to talk about some shit you was reading on Twitter? I'll make them feel real stupid about whatever. and that's, again, but it depends on the situation. Do you need to talk to me about something important? Do you need to talk to me about something trivial? Are you just demanding my attention because you feel if you don't have it, something is wrong with our interaction? Or do you feel like that, that there's something that you immediately need my attention for because it is going to affect both you and me?
And what is the level of the relationship? Is it the beginning? What's the level? You got years with each other? Because in the beginning, everybody be on the phone probably, when you first start off, you're talking and you're communicating. But as the relationship goes further down the line, I mean, you got to have an understanding. And you'd be surprised. Some people want to, you could be having a bad day and your partner, just by them saying, hey, that you would just come into like, you know what, things are going to be all right. You'd be surprised just hearing that person's voice. or text or
Start
getting
nothing that you don't want
or
to keep up.
receiving a text. You'd be surprised. Like, thank God you
Don't
called
throw it away.
me
You don't want to keep up. I agree
because
with
You
that.
there's
should
something
never
I need.
start nothing that, yeah.
No,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Breezy. No, I was just saying when you said like at the beginning, people be on the phone and they be talking and da da da, and then later on, but you shouldn't start nothing that you don't want to keep up.
No, but
Like if
people
you
do
don't, you know what I'm
though.
saying? Yeah, people do it, but that don't make it right, and that's why people
Right.
relationships is fucked up a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you don't want to start the precedent, you're gonna be talking to this motherfucker every day for 5 hours. You don't start your relationship that way. Kind of like with your kids. If you don't want to have them in J's their whole life, then when they 1 and 2, you might not want to put them in J's. You just don't start something that you're not going to continually do because now you've gotten that person used to talking to you how many ever hours of the day, and now you want to pull back. It's like, well, dang, hold on, we've been talking. So I think more if you're not gonna be talking like that every day, all day like that, when you first start your relationship, you shouldn't be doing that either. And I understand the whole honeymoon phase. I get that and the getting to know and that. But still, if you do that, now that person's gonna almost have the expectation that you have time to talk to them like that every day. Cause shit, you've been doing it for however long, however many weeks, however many months. You've been talking to me and finding time to talk to me to get to know me. Why now? Because you know me, you don't have the time. Now, that would be an issue. Cause it's like, yo, you had it. It's kind of like people be on the chase, and the whole thing is about the chase. But then when they get the person, they don't really want them like that no more. Not that they don't want them, but the thrill is gone. It was really about the chase. And that's where things kind of get wonky and start fizzling because you're not doing the same things that you were doing at the beginning to get her. You're not doing those same things to keep her, him or her, man or woman. But so that's why I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I
I don't
think you
think that
just
you
have
should.
to have an understanding too. Because if you're working at a job that requires a lot of your time, they should be understanding. But I think that,
Some people don't feel
if,
that way because they
yeah,
don't look at their job that way. To go with what
There you go.
Michelle Leach was just saying, that some people don't. Some people don't respect the time that you dedicate to
There
your
you go.
career or to what you
That
do
part.
because how they feel about their job. Some people literally step away from their job to call people who are enjoying their day just so they can complain about the day that they're not enjoying. So these
Another.
things, like I agree, you have to be dating like-minded people. And to piggyback on what Sparky was saying, it's like you don't want to start out a way that you don't want to that you can't keep up. Like we all do that boot kicking thing early in the beginning stages of a relationship. You want to be on the phone all night. You want to talk and text and voice message all throughout the day and stuff. But if you truly don't have that availability, if you're only doing it just because your attention is infatuated with this person right now, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So it's best to get to a good level with yourself of where all right, this is the amount of time that I have etched out to take care
establish
of.
that. Yes, establish that.
Establish it early. Let
Yeah,
honestly set boundaries, not
but
just
you do have, yeah,
for those people, but for yourself, so you don't put too much into those people too early on and get tired of them before you really know what they about.
So what does that conversation look like? If we're setting these boundaries at the beginning, what does that conversation look like?
Discussing your schedule.
Conversation looks like, look, I'm off on, I don't work, you might be like, look, I don't work a regular job. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not off on the weekends like most people are. I'm off on Sundays and Mondays. This is the time that I have to dedicate to what we have. On those days, you can have whatever time. On these other days, I got an hour here and an hour there that I'm free, in between, this gig and that gig. Is that something that works for you? If it doesn't, then we might
establish,
have to fall back and do something else. You know what I'm
establish.
saying? That's just keeping it. This is like what Preezy was saying. If you working in the jails and somebody want you to answer the phone, if a motherfucker wants you to answer the phone and you working in the jails, that ain't the person for you. Because they don't even give a fuck about your safety. You ain't got no damn business working in the jails or no prison trying to be talking on no damn phone. You know what I'm saying? You need to keep your head on the swivel so you making sure no damn prisoners doing nothing to you. So if you wanting me to talk on the phone and that's the kind of job I got, yo, you ain't the one. You don't even understand what the fuck I'm out here doing.
Right.
That you want me to be. You got me you want me to put myself in harm and take cupcake on the
And
phone?
we don't even,
Nah.
you don't have your cell phones in the jail. Well, you're
Yeah.
not supposed to. But
Yeah.
there's ways that you can make a phone call to your peoples. That's what I'm saying. It can happen, Hey, I'm a little busy. I'll give you a call later on. Just call to say hi. Hope your
But
day.
even that, if you ain't supposed to really do it, now you putting your livelihood on the line to let somebody know
No,
that you
I
was
mean
thinking
like
about them.
like if you on a break or something like that, because we get
Gotcha,
breaks.
gotcha,
So I mean like
gotcha,
that.
gotcha.
You on a little break? Hey, I just called to say what's up. Hope your day is good. Something quick like that. But all
Yeah.
day you talking 8.5 hours. No, there is no phone. You can't. So that
I'm
like
gonna
you have
interject this.
to
Don't we
establish
all
that.
want
You
to
have
be
to
with
establish that.
someone who doesn't require that? Like ideally, don't you want to be with someone who that if you are in the situation where you can't just, all the time or can't get to your phone to, let them know that you are thinking of them, that they will be okay. Their day will like the earth will still keep spinning for them. They'll still, be
You
in
had
like
to,
their
because
whole
it
like,
wasn't phones.
But
what
you
I'm
got
Cell
some
saying?
people that
phone.
want to be needed that much that they want you. They want to know that you need them. They want to know, just like they need a reassurance, a reassurance, a reassurance.
And
Like,
something we have to admit to ourselves, we can't be that all the time for everyone. Not all the time. Like that, and that doesn't mean we can't be in relationships. That doesn't mean that we can't still love each other appropriately. But that means that we have to admit that we're all human. That there's gonna be shortcomings. Like, damn, a whole damn 24 hours went by. I was on this shift and I did because what about motherfuckers who are like the deadliest catch? Motherfuckers who like have jobs at sea and shit, where you have no reception, like you out here catching crabs for Red Lobster and shit. You know what I mean? Like sometimes
That's something that you would understand.
that
You know
boom,
what I
I don't
mean?
think.
But what if there's
understand.
people that they could call? You know what I
Those
mean?
people
That's what
that
I'm
you
saying.
can't
Some
call,
people
What
yeah.
may
jobs are they doing? They librarians or something?
so
The
some
people
people
that
may
you
say,
can't
damn, I
call,
ain't
I
hear
feel
from you
like
all
it.
day. I ain't hear from you all day. God.
Well, okay. Let me throw a scenario out for you because I've seen this scenario before where you're just having a bad day and you don't want to talk to nobody until at least you
That's
get off of work.
understandable.
And I've seen that person, the woman, get upset because you didn't say nothing that whole time. You didn't say, "Oh, I'm thinking about you and what you're doing, whatever." I'm like, I'm just having a bad day. I don't want to speak to nobody today. I just need to get off of work, blow off some steam, then I'll be ready to talk to you once I get home. But I've seen people get off and like, "Oh, you don't like me no more. I must be a bitch to you now. So I'm not gonna talk to you no more.
So did
Bye."
she text him and he not respond all day? Because it's like, how do you know that a person is having a bad day until they respond to you and tell you,
I'm saying
communicate to
at
you?
work. Yeah, I'm saying at work. They don't text her. And maybe she did text them and okay, I can see what you're saying there. She texted him and see if she was all right. I'm just saying he didn't text her and just, saying, "Hey, how you doing? I'm thinking about you, whatever." I've seen situations where he didn't text her. She took offense to that he don't like her or he's doing something else
Without
he
her
shouldn't be
texting him
doing.
prior, like so they were playing the waiting game with each other, see who texts
Yeah.
who.
And
And
I've
see
seen
right
people
there,
get mad. I've
playing the
seen
game with
people
each other.
break up over this. I've seen
And
people break
and
up over
again,
this.
that's completely fine because both of those people are not truly committed. They're trying to see how invested this person will be in me first before I give them any of my investment. I need to know that you're thinking of me. I need that in order for me to feel like you actually are, which like it's the craziest fucking concept. Like I could literally be thinking like, and I get it. A simple text is not hard to do, but it's also not
not
top line
necessary.
sometimes. It's yeah, like especially if you have an understanding, especially if what you're doing is of the utmost and like literally when you're doing something that is the utmost important to you that like we know there are instances at work where we cannot step away. We cannot like just drop everything and pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I know it's been a minute since you heard from me, but I just want to let you know I was cool with what I was saying." Like there's sometimes you can't just do it when your line is backed the fuck up in the drive-through. There's sometimes you can't just do it when you're in the weeds at a restaurant and you're a fucking server. There's sometimes where you can't just step away and do that. again, I feel like we should want to be with significant others.
It all depends on the
They
person.
probably have something
Like
going on themselves, so that they're not just worried about what we're.
what you said about the guy was having a bad day. I think I would have said, hey, when you want to talk, I'm here. And I just would have left it because everybody has bad days.
How
But
do
what if he
you
So
doesn't?
you
Let's
need
say,
you need
what if
that
he
time.
doesn't?
But
What
I
if he
would
doesn't express he had a bad day? He's just silent.
So how does she know? That's what I'm saying. Like, how does
how
she?
did they know that he had a bad? How did she?
When
What I'm
he
saying,
finally called her,
what I'm saying,
he'll let her know that he had a bad day. It's like he got off work and he wanted to take time to decompress, get his shit together, process his day or whatever. And so instead of him calling her like he normally does, he went on home to get him together to do some
yeah,
self-care. It should be
Okay.
okay for somebody to
So he
go
calls her the
do
next day
self-care.
or a
Yeah.
couple
So
of
he
days.
calls her after, he has got himself together. Like he might not want to put his negativity on her. He might not want to bring
yeah.
that to the situation. So it's
Right.
like, damn, let me get me right. Let me meditate a little bit, do this, do
Process
that,
it.
and then I'll reach out to her. It's chicks
I
though
can
that be mad
understand that.
Well,
about
then
that
I
that's
completely
because
agree with that.
that's
Not
I
a
think what
problem.
Red was saying more in
Yeah.
a situation like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But he's seen people wake up over that because the dude didn't call when he got the hell off work. Like, come
And I
on,
get that. And what I'm saying is, I agree with that. A person that will start an argument over that without even, or like you call them the next day. Let's like I'm saying, it doesn't have to be 24 hours. It could literally be 25, 26, 30 hours. You wake up the next morning and you give them a call and say, hey, sorry you didn't hear from me all day yesterday. I was mad busy.
a lot of
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, Andrew.
This is true.
Absolutely.
if that person
Yeah.
still wants to argue with you or break up with you, knowing your schedule, knowing the kind of work that you do, knowing
Right.
that you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
just
It's
have the
excuse.
time,
It's excuse.
let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're making the fact that you didn't give them your attention their end all be all. And that's them letting you know exactly what they demand of you. I want you to be there to answer my response, to be there for me whenever I need you to be. And realistically, you can't do that, especially when you haven't worked or build yourself to a position to be in that, especially if I have to go to a job that demands that I'm not on my phone. If I have to go to a job that demands that I stay longer than I may be scheduled to stay sometimes, or even if I'm doing something that I love, if I'm trying to push my career forward, if I'm dedicating myself to something that I'm just super locked in on. If you are truly invested in me and interested in me, you should like that. You should hear me the next day and say, okay, I understand that. As long as you're doing something to progress you forward that isn't hurting you, hurting me, we're good. But if they want to end the relationship after that, that is a person that is self-involved and is only there for you to be there for them.
I think that's just going, and this is what I was saying earlier. I think it's going to happen more so with guys than it will with women. A guy who is having a problem, if he doesn't have that conversation to talk to somebody about fixing the problem, he's going to internalize it and try to fix it himself. So he's not going to talk to anybody. It's nothing personal. It's just something he's trying to fix. So he may not talk during that time, during his busy work day. And it may get to the point where he may not talk that day. Now, I'm not saying that's totally right. I'm just saying it's not personal. And I've seen where women have taken that into as a personal thing, as, oh, he don't like me. He don't want to talk to me. That's why I haven't heard from him. But it's really just him venting with himself. He's not venting to no one else. He's just venting to himself. He ain't talking to nobody else. He ain't talking to you. He ain't talking to nobody else, period.
That's their insecurities. If the only thought this person can formulate for the reason that you're not talking to them is because you don't like me no more, or you found somebody else to talk to, again, you're insecure and self-involved. Because you could either reach out to me and try to see what's going on. You could extend that hand. A lot of people don't like going that extra step, especially, well, we already established this person didn't text first. This person is just waiting to see if this person is going to text them at the end of their day. So there's already that element of you withholding, or that person withholding their, their communication, their, reach out just to see if you're going to do it. So that, again, that I feel like that's a person that it's honestly, they're weeding themselves out if they get upset at that. And again, man or woman. Because women have demanding jobs that they really can't step away from, like CNA, nurses, teachers, like a lot of shit that you really just can't get the fuck away from. If you're dealing with a partner that is blowing you up, and only because they have nothing going on for themselves and they just want to have your attention, not because there's an immediate issue, not because there's an emergency, not because there's something going on that affects the two of you. They just need your constant attention to feel validated or to feel important in your life. You can't realistically keep up with that, nor should you want to.
I will agree with you on Breezy on this. That is a conversation that should be happening at the beginning about what boundaries are. Like,
it's as simple
if
as
I
what
can't
do
talk
you
to
do?
you every day, then that needs to be known. Maybe I won't text you every day, but I will try my best to. But sometimes I get in a mode where I don't want to be interrupted, not just by you. I don't want to be interrupted by nobody unless it's an emergency. Because I'm brewing up some ideas that if I'm interrupted, I may forget the idea and it's gone in the stratosphere forever. Let me have my time at work, and I'll give you your time after work. If I don't give you your time after work, then I understand you got a problem. But don't break up with me over. Don't internalize it and act like I'm trying to do something intentionally to avoid you. It's really nothing personal. It's just business, as you've heard the phrase being said before.
It should be established though, because
Yeah.
that's what communication is about.
Okay.
That's what exactly what communication is. You communicate with your partner.
Word.
You let them know, hey, right now, here's a big project, so I'm gonna be really, really busy. Because if you don't have communication, you don't have nothing. To just not say anything, I don't agree to that. Hey, Big Red, I got a big project right now. I'm getting ready to do, so I'm gonna be real busy. But as soon as I get time, I'll give you a call. But I got a lot to do. Now that will make you understand, like, hey, she's telling me she got a few things. If she get time today, she'll give me a call. If not, I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow. That is what communication is about. But you're not saying nothing to me. How do you think I would feel if I don't hear, especially if you and I, we talk and we have a great conversation and all of a sudden I don't hear from him like, hey, you okay? Everything all right? Oh yeah, I would, it's about communication. And I think that's why relationships don't work, because people just hold things inside. When you were by yourself, you did whatever you wanted to do. But when you're in a relationship, things gotta change a little bit. It's not about just you, it's about us. So hey, guess what? Today is gonna be really busy for me. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I'll talk to you when I get home, and leave it from there. And if they don't understand that, then that's a whole different situation.
See, but let me put another point in there. For guys, when you ask a lot of times, is everything okay? We're not going to tell you.
I
We're
know.
going, we're going to say it's okay or it's fine because we don't want to vent. We want the problem solved.
I know.
So you're not going to get the problem solved through a text. So we rather just say, oh, everything's okay, and we'll solve it on our own. Or we probably rather not just respond at all because we're going to handle it on our own, because we want to solve it on our own, because we know whatever you got to say. I mean, it's cool to say, hey, I know things are going wrong with work right now, or whatever you're doing, everything's going to be fine. That's cool. But we're looking for a solution a lot of
Where I
times.
do feel like I'm wasting time and energy when I explain what kind of mental turmoil I'm going through. Like, to type it out sometimes, I feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm wasting energy because I got to explain things a certain way. I got to make you understand how I feel about it, my viewpoint, because that's what it takes to really express yourself on a super understandable level. You have to really take the time to illustrate how you feel about something, that takes a lot of effort and energy. That's why it's easy to say a lot of men are poor communicators, because some men just say the same shit and they get mad. It's really just, and then it pissed me off and I was mad. And like it really becomes a simple way of explaining themselves when they're upset. Oh shit, Dr. Lamar.
Dr. Lamar.
Before we go forward, right quick, Sparky, I think that I don't know if y'all hear that noise in the background.
I hear it.
Hold on. Yeah, I think that's yours, Sparky. I mute yours and then I unmute it. It comes back.
What's the noise sound like?
Like a
Sounds
song.
like a generator or something. Like some roaring in the background.
Like you walking through a storm.
Yeah.
Like a windy
Now,
storm.
y'all literally see me sitting still, so that's why I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go
Like a
out and
micro.
come back in to
Okay.
see if maybe that makes it better.
Like a flying.
All right. Dr. Lamar, I don't know if you've heard what we were talking about. We're just talking about communication issues that you wish that men understood more about women, and vice versa, from the men to the women. But what communication issues that you wish men understood about their actions or how they talk to women?
You know what? I'm not going to just say as men. I think sometimes women have communication problems too. And the reason why I say that is because growing up, if you didn't, like in my family, we communicated, like if we get mad, we cuss you out. Right? And then you're like mad. But the problem has never been resolved. So as an adult,
Yeah.
I thought that was communication. So I can't really say it's the men. I just think sometimes it's just a individual situation. I know for me, like I haven't always been a great communicator. I thought I was, but if people keep asking me, like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Apparently, you're not communicating effectively, so they understand. So I'm not sure if it's just a men versus women.
No, I get that. We were just saying both sides. We have things that we think women don't understand about us or men don't understand about them. We just want to hear from your point of view, something specific.
Give her that scenario. Tell her that scenario that you told us about the texting part.
Okay. Well, the scenario was if I'm at work, sometimes I don't always have time to text during work to say, hey, how you doing? I miss you. I appreciate you. I love you and all stuff like that because I make it busy. And I've seen where some women have gotten mad at that and they've taken it personally, where it's just I get in a groove where I get so busy sometimes. I'm not trying to avoid you. It's just I get busy sometimes, or I get lost in my time, or I may be trying to figure something out and I don't talk to nobody that day. I may be having a bad day, and I've seen people break up over that or getting mad arguments over that.
Having a bad day.
Oh Lord. You know what? Oh my God, I'm bad because I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like I may mean to call you or text you, but I forget. Like things go on. I mean, I got a text today. Like, how come you didn't respond to me? You told me you were gonna call me back yesterday, and you haven't. I forgot. Like, so I don't know. I'm not I'm not the one to answer that question. We might move on because I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I might not call you back for a week.
Now hold on. Now I ain't say all that. Now I get. Now I'm on preach.
Time matters in this kind of scenario. Time matters because is it them? Quickly. Is it just a day going by, or has like 3 days gone by? Has a week gone by? Like, what's the amount of time that you get back to a person and say, "Oh, my bad, I was busy." Like if it's only been 24 hours, that's understandable. A lot can happen in 24 hours. A lot can happen in an hour to where I can't respond to you. If we imagine we was having a steady stream conversation, something can literally happen within 5 minutes that takes all of my attention away from this like completely coherent, compressive conversation that we were having. So 24 hours, that can happen on an even grander scale. So it really gets down to a measurement of time. Like what is 3 months? If someone just pop up and be like, hey, I got your text. I said, like motherfucker, it's been 90 days. Like, goddamn it, I've gotten a job. I've grown a beard. I've like the fuck out of here.
Now I understand after what Dr. Lamar said. Sometimes maybe a week. This is why Carly Russell fake being kidnapped, because she's like, oh, he ain't gonna text me back, so he gonna text me back with this kidnapping charge. That's why she did that. I get it now.
This bitch.
I'm bad. I told you I'm bad.
Carly.
So right now it's been like a week. I mean, needing to. Oh God, you know, made me feel bad. Oh shoot.
I think it's particular.
Well,
to
y'all
person.
argue.
I just can't go. Like I don't like seeing notifications.
What
Yeah,
you say, Sparky?
I ain't
What
gonna
you say, Sparky?
I said I asked.
Not no relationship.
Arguing with them, you know, like when they went out and she didn't talk to him for a whole week, she just didn't call him for a week.
I only hear the phone. I mean, not phone. It was Fame. What you say?
So was y'all arguing first before y'all didn't before y'all stopped talking for a week, or was it just you was just super busy?
No, I was busy, but see, it was bad because you know what? I was like, let me call you right back. Hold that thought, and he had probably been holding that thought for a whole week.
Damn.
Okay, but see, right there, like I take like as a man in that situation, not even just a man, as a person that's in that situation, if I really needed your attention, needed your opinion, needed your advice on something, I'm not gonna wait a damn week. I'm gonna call you. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna wait a few hours. Damn, you ain't call me back. I might wait a day. Damn, I ain't hear from him. I'm gonna wait a couple days. Damn, and then like maybe third or fourth day, he's like, hey, you good? What's happening? Like I'm like again, communication is a two-way street. You don't just like people really stop at one part. People stop at the fucking at the beginning of the street before they even go to the stop sign, before they even go all the way down the cul-de-sac. There's a whole goddamn neighborhood of communication that needs to happen. Like it's more than just your little. It's more than just your hey.
Yeah, like when somebody say you ain't called me in a week, it'd be like shit, you ain't called me either.
Yeah, that's that too. That is,
you know what I'm saying? How you mad at me about something I didn't do and you didn't do the shit either? Like we ain't called each other. I ain't called you. We haven't called each other.
I'm glad you said that, Sparky.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Well, you ain't called me.
Because I'm agreeing with what Trent said. Like, damn, after so many days, if you really wanted to talk to me, you would have picked up the phone on your own and called me. You wouldn't have just sat back and waited until I called you and then
I'm gonna ask what you got
fact that I didn't call.
You got nothing going on. If you was really like, did you? I hope you didn't hold your breath.
You know what? I didn't used to be like this. I used to be that one where I was like, you tell me you gonna call me back in 15 minutes, by 20, you better be calling me back. I didn't used to be like this, but I think me being single kind of added to this because I didn't have anybody to kind of, you know, I'm not gonna say depend on, be like, hey, what you doing? I have friends, but I didn't have somebody who was like checking me every day or something like that. So I started, for whatever reason, like taking on these projects or whatever. So I really didn't have it. So now I'm in the midst of all this stuff, and it's hard for me to kind of back out of it. So now with this whole relationship thing, I'm like, oh man, I think I gotta check in. Like, it's kind of bad. I'm not sure what to do.
Stay out of those relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know,
if you don't have the time, then just don't.
Also, yeah, I agree with that. If you don't have the time,
don't
invest in a person. Don't. But we keep doing it.
I agree.
If they want to be in a relationship and you really don't have the time, then don't do it.
Because that's what I'm saying about a person that is literally getting upset and wanting to either curse you out or break up with you over not picking up the phone to let them know that you were thinking of them throughout the day. That's a person that has nothing going on with their day. They're literally making the highest emotional aspect of their day as hearing from you. Like you thought you wasn't going to hear from me ever again. I had to let you know that I was breathing, alive, and thinking about you at some point today for your day to persist. That's a person that's emotionally immature. They're not thinking about the relationship in terms of the both of you, because a person that is truly, invested in the relationship on both ends, they'll allow you to have that time to build yourself. They'll allow you to have that time to, if again, if y'all have been communicating, if y'all care about each other enough to communicate, like it starts as simple as, like, in the meeting process, it starts as simple as, what do you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me wonder, what do people talk about when we're first interacting with each other? You know what I'm saying? Are we not talking about our jobs or careers and shit?
You
Because
know
they
what?
are get
I
a
think
good.
the check-in is so important because so much is going on in the world. And that's why I think it's so important, even if it's just a high. Because you don't know, that could be that last high. You don't know. And that's why I say, I think that's why I made a big thing of, just even if it's, hey, what's up? Because the way the world is today, that so many things is happening. And I think that's why I think of it like that. It's not to just have a conversation. I don't have to have a conversation with you. I don't have to have a full conversation, but hey, because I've heard so many stories of people just, they wish they could have, they wish they did this, they wish they did that. And the way the world is today, I would hate to say, I'll text her later. I'll text him later. And guess what? Later don't come. So I think that's why, because I've seen so many things happen, that shooting out a quick text, hey, and just them, hey, back, that's enough for me. That's enough. Because life is so short.
You're right.
Things happen. There's so much is happening in the world. That's why I think, come on, 24 hours in a day. Hey, especially if you and your people, y'all have that, hey, that's it. Hey could mean a lot to you. Hey could mean I love you. And that's why I say it's the communication between you two. I don't have to have a conversation with you to tell you that, hey, I was thinking about that one hey, or that little hand on a screen like that tells it all.
I ain't never seen a woman just
Now,
cool with hey for the entire day.
I'd like to inverse it. How about we flip
the
it?
person understands they understand my job. They understood my job. So that hey told it all. Hey,
what if you're the one
that's what
at
I'm
work?
saying. It all depends on who you dealing with.
What if you're the
women
one
are not going to be cool with hey,
and you text the person that doesn't have a job or has nothing to do with their day, and they don't respond? We're looking at it from the standpoint of us being the one that's
busy, right?
What if we're the one that's busy, that is making time to say hey, to stop our day for the person, and this person has nothing going on with their day? They're either sitting at the house, or they're sitting at their friend's house, or they're sitting on their couch all day doing, you know what I'm saying? And they don't respond, because a lot of people are in that situation too. A lot of people are in the situation where they're the main income earner for their relationship, and they have a significant other that just has an empty day, but they can't even get a response text from that person. And then when you come back home from your long day of work, and that person, and you ask, hey, how come I haven't heard from you all day? How come I haven't, you know what I'm saying? And they're like,
I say it depends on the person. It's who you're dealing with. I'm telling you. And if they selfish like that, then maybe you shouldn't be with them. That's a red flag. If they don't have an understanding of what you do, I don't know what to say. That's what I'm saying. It's all about communication and how you start off, like Sparky T said. It's how you start off.
Right. But so, okay. When you start off and you say, well, this is what I got going on. The first thing they're gonna say is, well, when you got time for me?
Oh, shit.
And boom, that right there, that already lets me know.
You T said, she explained how, hey, remember Sparky, you said, I work this day, I'm off this day, and I gotta schedule. This is my schedule, so if you can rock it, hey. That's why.
Like if they would have asked me when do they got time for me, I'd be like, well, look, I'm off on Sunday and Monday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can have any time on those days, but on my other days, I have an hour between this and I got an hour between that. Because I'm doing this, and that. Is that something you can handle?
Yes.
Is that something you want to rock with? Because they already know up front, and they're making an honest decision about whether they want to deal with it or not. And either they do or they don't. And if they say they do, then all right, when we get deep into this, I already told you up front.
Right.
This is what
Right.
I had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be on the, try not to, start nothing you don't want to keep up. The
Right.
other thing I was gonna say is, don't you want to be with somebody that's gonna give you the benefit of the doubt? Like if I don't call you or I don't text or whatever, and even if we haven't had that whole talk about it or whatever, why wouldn't you want to be with somebody that's at least gonna be like, well, damn, she ain't calling, she didn't text, but I know it gotta be because she busy. She got deep in her day today. Instead of taking it and then internalizing it that I don't care nothing about them and this and this and that and
Right.
that and that and that. Nah, you want somebody that is gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, damn, you're not gonna just state that, something to the good on why I didn't call, or at least there's a reason that why I didn't reach out or text or whatever. Because if you automatically jump to is the bad or it's
Right.
something bad, now it's like, well, what's going on in you that's automatically what you assuming just because I didn't call or text?
Because is that what you do
I've
when you be
seen
missing?
I've just seen it
Huh?
where something bad happened to the person at work, and that's why they didn't text back. And the girls getting
Yeah, like
mad.
somebody that got into an accident or some shit. You don't even know because you just sitting over there mad. They laid up in the hospital. That's why they didn't call or text. Or they done went to jail or just different shit. There's no reason why people may not have called or texted. They didn't have access to their phone at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be different reasons. So, I would think you want to give your people or your person the benefit of the doubt. Like, well, damn, it's gotta be a reason. But I
Because
do
again, in
agree.
those situations, an emergency like that, getting arrested, getting into an accident, if the person that is reaching, if the person that wants to hear from you truly cares about your safety and
They reach out.
well-being, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna reach out more than once too. It's not gonna be just hey, it's gonna be hey, and a day goes by. Hey, how are you? Okay, another day goes by. Hey, is everything okay? Another day goes by. Okay, if I know your location, again, you have to know the interaction, like context matters. Like how long have we known each other? Do I
Right.
know where you live at? Can I just pull up on your spot to see if you're okay? Do I have that can I go, do I have that clearance from you to pull up in your area? Do I know your family members? Do I know some of your friends? Do I know your job location? Like if I'm truly worried about you because I haven't heard from you and I want to hear from you,
Yeah.
I'm going to take those avenues and those channels to try to hear from you. But on the inverse, if I'm just going to say, oh, I haven't heard from you, so you just must have don't like me no more. Again, I'm selfishly only thinking about how you think about me. Like I don't think that anything could be going wrong with you that has nothing to do with me whatsoever. I'm thinking that everything in your life has to revolve around me. And the only reason you're not talking to me is because you're mad at me. It's a me concept that I personally like to avoid. If someone asks me, like if I tell someone my schedule and they say, where do you have time for that in me? Or where do I have time for that in me? Where do you have time? Like where do you have time for me in that? I would try to do the same things. I wouldn't let them know where I have time for them at. I would let them know where I have time, because it's not going to be, because again, starting off how I went, I can't guarantee that, my days off are always going to be able to go to you, because then when do I get the time to, actually build on myself or take some R&R for myself? Because even though you can be my peace from work and from the things that I have to do, after interacting with you so many times, we're not going to be each other's peace every single time that we see each other. And I'm going to need some peace from you. So I can't promise the days that I'm not guaranteed. Like I can't promise the days that are already obligated to my work or the things that I do to someone else. And again, all of this comes through communication and the nature of my interactions with this person. If this is someone that I just met the night before at some party my friend was throwing, or downtown somewhere, an acquaintance that I barely know, and we just trying to talk to see where things go, I'm not going to stress myself about taking myself away from what I'm doing to text this person from 6 years ago that I just met last night while I was intoxicated to say, hey, Just want to make sure that you knew I was thinking about you today. I'm mad busy. Like, no, but a person that I actually want to build with, a person that I actually want to know, hey, this is the nature of what I do. Sometimes it's gonna have me up at these hours where I'm still working. Sometimes it's gonna have me MIA for a few hours where I'm tired, I'm run down. But this is the nature of what I do. I'm sorry that I was not able to give you my time or attention today. I hope that you can forgive me. If a person can't forgive you with that kind of, and not an excuse, with that kind of explanation, then they don't care about your progression. They
Trent just
don't.
made that into a whole book.
It
He done
is.
broke it all the way down.
And that's coming from the good doctor.
Communication.
Trent, you done broke it
It's
all the way
about
down.
communication.
I love, like, communication is my shit. Like, I was a communications
I'm
major.
telling you, I don't care
Like,
what it is.
I believe it, Trent. You probably was in the front of that class.
I never went to, I dropped out. I learned
That's
more
all right.
about communication by just communicating with
How to
people
communicate.
instead of actually being taught it by some institution. But not just, I'm still going back to school. I want to be a doctor, just like you, the Dr. Lamar. I want to be a doctor in sociology
You gonna do it.
and Egyptology.
She'll get back with you in about a week on how you can do that.
You probably, what Kevin Gates said, you probably graduated cum laude.
Magnum cum laude.
All right, let's move on. We're gonna move on to the next subject. We're gonna talk about people who get ghosted on first dates.
Oh man, I got ghosted.
Oh, okay,
That's
this
happened to me a
will
few
be
times.
very relatable then. With this next guy, we're gonna see what your opinion is about how he reacted to it and what he should do going forward. You're gonna be the hostile therapist and give your opinion what he should do going forward with this situation. So here is the video for it, and you guys tell me what you think about it after we're done.
So I just left a restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that I guess is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares.
Okay, so something to say about this. So
this nigga lie. I'm sorry.
Dr. Lamar, if this guy came to you for some advice on what he should do going forward after seemingly getting ghosted and communicate with this woman, Dr. Lamar, now have a heart. Have a heart, this young man.
Extra.
Hey, look, if she don't want to have a heart, I'll tear this nigga apart. Bars. Goddamn.
If this guy came to you and he told you this happened to him, he didn't communicate with his woman, he'll set up the date, set up with a restaurant they're gonna eat, then got flowers for this young lady or whoever it is. I don't know if it's a young lady or not. And she ghosted him, and he done made his video crying his heart out, sweating blood out of his eye ducts to make people feel sorry for him. What would you tell him? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to give your opinion what you would tell this young man if he came to you with this issue. Here we go.
Ready, go!
I've had plenty of clients like that. I got stood up myself, and I was telling the same thing I tell them. I said, "F them, shoot." But if they're gonna stand you up, I mean, don't call them anymore. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When I got stood up, I called again like, "What's good? Where you at?" Next day I called again and I was like, yo, am I like really playing myself? I was, but you only went out on one date. I mean,
not even one.
Huh?
Not even one.
No, you ain't even go out on a date. You up here crying and carrying on. What about the next person? I don't know. To me, he had some emotional baggage before he even went out on that date. I mean, I think that's a little bit more than what was going on with that date. I think so. I don't know. See, I'm that right there. I'd be like, if that was somebody came to me or a friend, I'd be like, come on now, you done just went too far with that crying mess. Come on now. Everybody gonna get stood up. If you haven't, you will probably. I don't know if I would have sat there and ate a whole meal because I don't like to eat by myself. Or I would have sent her behind a bill. That's it.
That's it. So with that being said, would you go on a date with him? No. Why not?
Oh.
He clearly is romantic, and he'll set up a date for you. He'll set up a day, give you flowers, chocolate, take you to a nice restaurant.
I don't like all that he had going on around here, like all that, he ain't look like really. I ain't gonna say clean, but nah, he ain't really my type. I'm sorry.
He cries too much, huh?
Yeah, all that crying. Look like he got snot in his beard. I don't know about that.
Wow, not snot in his beard.
I don't know about that. He wasn't really my type,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's see.
My type is different.
I see. I
like somebody who wear some Timbs that day, but at night you may have a little suit or vice versa. Like your closet is versatile. Now, if we get out, can you fight? That's what I want to know. Can I take you to the boardroom? No, seriously. Like, can I take you to? But if I take you to the boardroom, like, don't cuss my boss out. But can you like cuss him out in like a nice, professional way, like that type?
Andrew said, "Come on, man. You can't cry over being ghosted. That's just part of the game. First few seconds of being
That's true. That's true, Andrew."
Okay. LT is itching to go. All right. Reset the time. All right, LT.
Are you ready? Go!
This dude is a buster. This dude is a buster. He's smart. First off, the fact that he recorded a video and went to social media. This is something that, again, I talk shit about white mothers doing. You recorded a TikTok video or some type of fucking video and posted it to social media complaining about how you were stood up, standing in the restaurant still talking about, I ate the food by myself. Guess what? We wouldn't have known that if you didn't tell us. You literally just tried to make a viral moment off of you being pitiful. So one, either this motherfucker is a buster or he lying for virality and just trying to paint nice guys, whatever the fuck nice guy means, because this is a stereotype that I hate. What the fuck do we mean by nice guys finish last? Like, why is we as black men the main people who get called toxic masculine? Why do we have such an aversion to either being nice guys or trying to reinvigorate? We want to reinvigorate, the word nigga so damn bad, but we don't want to flip the word nice guy so damn bad. Also, I need to know what woman were you talking to for 2 weeks? Because one, this isn't your woman. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, because you have this inner thing that you haven't worked out with yourself yet, these emotional disturbances within yourself, I feel like we seek people that would kind of either take advantage of that or allow us to operate in that. I didn't see no tears from this motherfucker. I feel like he was really acting. I feel like he was really trying. I feel like he was putting on too hard. Like the fact that are you still standing in the restaurant while you're making this video? So you finished your meal and then you decided to turn the camera on yourself and talk about how you got stood up. I would have just went the fuck home. Like everybody done got stood the fuck up, because if you're doing this kind of shit, yeah, who the fuck want to be on that? Man, if I see this nigga on the street, I'd slap shit out of him just because I don't like how he made just people look. Like not even men, not even just black men, just human beings. I feel like he got a disease and he want to be viral on TikTok for being pitiful.
Michelle said he was probably trying to date outside his league, which was probably the case. I'm guessing. Don't know.
What's his lead? Buster? Like
Uh,
this nigga's Mark. This nigga.
all right, Breezy, I'll let you go next. Let's see, let me set the time up. You tell us, what advice would you give to this young man if he came to you with this same complaint he had on this video? All right.
Are you ready? Go!
I actually had this on my show, this same guy.
Mm.
And everybody was saying that he did a little too much. Personally, I guess the dating game is a little bit hard right now, and he is looking for a relationship. But the fact that he posted it was a red flag to me. So whatever, if I got into a relationship with him, every time something goes wrong, you gonna post it on social media. I don't think he should have did that, but it was a cry for help too, because um uh, he was emotional, but he shouldn't have posted it on he shouldn't have posted it on social media. And that could have been the reason why the girl didn't probably go out with him. Maybe she saw a red flag. Um, maybe something happened that she couldn't get in contact with him. Like y'all said, she didn't have to text. She didn't have to call. But she did have a date, obviously. And maybe she saw something in him that wasn't right. He didn't seem like a bad looking guy. But the fact that you posting something on social media is a red flag. You don't go to social media for answers or to fix your problems. So that's not cool. Because, like I said, you're going to go, every problem that you have, you're going to go to social media. Obviously, he's looking for love. And I don't know, somebody will come his way. If you read the comments, a lot of people were saying, he was a little too passive, man up. Things happen in life. This is the way the world is. He was too passive. And a lot of women feel like he's scary. He's scary to even come out and do something like that. Was unnecessary. So I don't think he should have did it. I don't think he should have. I feel for him, I've never been stood up before, so I don't know, but I feel bad for him.
You say, I'm
No,
so
no,
damn
but
cool.
that
No
don't,
one ever
but that
stood
don't,
me up.
no, but that don't mean that it
I'm
can't
kidding.
happen. It don't mean that it can't happen to me. I just never experienced it. But
Yeah.
I know it gotta hurt.
Yeah.
It gotta hurt. Come on, we all human.
Okay, so my next question is, if he came to you also after having this conversation, would you date?
No, because I don't like the fact that you went on social media. That's what I said. So every time we get into an argument, you're gonna go, "Oh, look what Prezi did. Let me tell you guys. Can I get your opinion?" No, I don't want the. You don't listen. No, you could have. You didn't have to go on. So, but I think it was a cry for help
Okay.
because obviously he probably been stood up before. Listen to what he said. Why is it so hard to find someone? Why I want to be in a relationship. So he's been having this problem. Maybe he's too much. He's too clingy. Maybe he calls too much or texts too much.
He's a buster. That's his fuck. He's a buster.
All
He's
right.
too aggressive, yet passive.
Breezy.
Passive aggressive. That's the
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
Let Sparky T. She gonna go next. Sparky T. Give us your opinion. What you would tell him if he came to you with the same issue as he did on the video.
Are you ready? Go!
The first thing I would say to him is don't be on social media crying like that. That's the first thing I would say to him. Like that didn't help your cause. I would also say to him, you saying you want to be in a relationship and that you want to be a husband or be a good husband and a father one day. What do you think what qualities do you think make a good husband? Because whatever you think it is on social media crying is not what I think a woman is going to translate as to, well, that's going to be my perfect husband, unless she has that same type of same type of drama. Like, I believe that the girl that stood him up probably dodged the bullet. And that's probably what she thought when she saw the video. It's probably like, damn, that was the dude I was gonna go out with. He did all of this because I didn't make it. There's a reason. She probably like who her intuition or whatever told her not to go. She dodged the bullet on that one probably. The other thing is he said he waited for 30 minutes. Like somebody else said, what if something had happened? What if she came after? It wasn't like he waited an hour, 2 hours, nothing like that. Which 30 minutes is some time, but it wasn't like you ate your food in 30 minutes. You ordered, ate your food, did all of that in 30 minutes. Like you should have still. So that part I didn't make too much sense. And then he did the whole thing about and nobody cares. I'm in here eating by myself and nobody even cares. It's not that nobody cares, but one, didn't nobody know if you didn't go on social media and blast it like that. And, you should be secure enough in yourself that it didn't make you cry because somebody that you really didn't know didn't come and meet you for lunch or for dinner. Like, I get that she stood you up, but to take it to where you crying, you on social media crying, but bro, there's somebody out there for everybody. So you'll definitely find your person. Just keep your chin up and, post less videos probably. That's be my suggestion.
Could that somebody be you, Sparky T?
Could who somebody be who?
Could that somebody be you that would date him? You said there's somebody out there for everybody. Could
Oh. Nah. He wouldn't make it. He wouldn't make it with me. If he crying because somebody stood him up, he wouldn't make it with me.
Why is this happening to me? It was really like somebody. It should have been raining on his dumb ass.
He would destroy.
Because it's probably not the first time. That's why. It's hard for
It's
him.
not. That's why he was saying he just
Yeah.
want to be in a relationship.
Right.
He just want
Wanna be a
to,
husband.
he want to be somebody's husband, this and this and that, but you got to make yourself husband material. Just like women got to make themselves wives material. Well, man, you got to make yourself husband material too. And being in the restaurant crying because somebody didn't come, that you don't even really know like that, you put the 2 weeks in, you talk to him for 2 weeks, and I understand that you're trying to make her comfortable or whatever. Maybe something that you did in them 2 weeks turned her off. And maybe she should have just been woman enough to tell you she wasn't coming. That part she might have should have did instead of just leaving you there holding the bag.
You love
But
to tell other people this. Maybe you need to pick them better. Maybe, because I think that's what really be having people fucked up about it. You invested 2 weeks of your time into someone that felt like you wasn't worth their time.
the other thing too, though, is if it keeps happening to him, he needs to, self-reflect. Like, why the hell does this keep happening to me? What vibe am I putting off that this is the type of woman that I keep attracting? Like, what am I doing that I keep attracting the same type, even if he is a buster? It's like one of those, well, maybe he need to have less busterish behavior. And the only way he'll be able to do that is if he thinks about, what he's doing that, maybe turning somebody off. No, that's why they be saying no one is half the battle. So if you don't even know that you're doing something wrong, or you don't think that you're doing something wrong, then
Let me go right quick.
Got a real issue.
Let me go in right quick. Hold on. Let's see what I'm saying.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Go!
So I think we're missing a couple things here. We saying Buster. I'm just gonna say he's a biatch. That's what he is. No, none of y'all don't want to date him because he will be too weak to be with any of y'all. If he's crying like this over this is the very guy or very person I'm talking about who would text you at work, and if you didn't return a text, he would cry, bitch and moan all day long, and he would want to commit suicide because you didn't hit him back within 5 minutes after sending your text. This is the exact person I'm talking about. And I've seen this, like I said, on the other side, the other gender. I've seen these type of people. This is the type of people that turned into Ted Bundy and other serial killers. This is the type of people that you say, I don't think I want to leave my kids around him, even though I got my cousin watching them as well, because he looks kind of funny. You can't go around crying over simple stuff like this and then post it to social media. He's not looking for no advice. He's looking somebody to say he's right for what's happening to him. He wants the choir to preach to him and say he's right for everything he said. And I think the girl probably saw this early on hand. Or she probably just accepted whatever gifts he gave her and just ghosted him in the end. Either way, she probably saw these signs before and saw that this guy is not for the long term. She probably saw that the day that he walked in trying to ask for her number. He said he talked to her for 2 weeks and then he ghosted her. I don't think I believe that. I don't think that's exactly what happened. I think she just eventually saw who he was, which was a bitch. Nobody in here, Preezy, Sparky T, Dr. Lamar, none of y'all want to date him because you know he ain't no man when it comes to that. Crying over everything. He's too emotional.
Boss people.
Stop being so emotional. That's what my advice would be.
Crying.
And I don't even think it was him being emotional because I didn't see no fucking tears. Like I think it was him being manipulative. I think it was him being a narcissist.
He needs
I think
love.
it was him. Yeah, I think it was him trying to create because again, like for one, we need to know the name of this restaurant because if you was able to get there, place your order, get fed, and then eat your meal all within 30 minutes, that service is exceptional. Goddamn, like if you was able to do all of that, and what some people need to start doing, being honest, like let's say he's like this was some real shit, and he was actually. You need to start being honest about why these people are interacting with you, where they're talking to you, but not showing up to actually kick it and interact with you. Because some motherfuckers are out here actually paying for women to talk to them. Like a lot of women have it. Like back in my single days, I used to see this shit a lot. A lot of women, shit, even as I scroll through social media now, I still see it a lot. A lot of women require that you hit their Cash App before you even speak to them. Ooh. Now, a lot of men actually do that. Just to flex. This is what we call stunting. This is what we call tricking when you don't have it. When you finally get that little band or two and you can break some of these, what you call or what you acknowledge as birds off of with some of that little shit. They like people interact with people that they don't really like. And I feel like that's a lot of what men like this do. You're going, and I don't necessarily think it's a woman that's out of his league. I think it's a woman that yeah, you probably don't actually want to be with because she obviously doesn't want to be with you. And your response to that is to try to make or hope that she sees it and feels bad about what she did to you. That's so much energy. That takes so much time. That takes so much effort. That's so much unnecessary, passive aggressiveness being exerted when you could just take that time to reflect. Like, what are you doing? Again, no one ever wants to ask themselves the question, what are you doing that is making people treat you as though they can just talk to you, get what they want from you, and then not give you what you want from them? What makes you that person to people? Instead, he would rather pick up his phone, stand in the middle of a busy restaurant, and make it seem like there is something wrong with everyone else that doesn't like him. To me, that screams a person that knows that they have flaws and would rather throw out their features to cover up for that. Hey, I got money. Hey, I know kids. Hey, I got this and I got that. And you're throwing that out at me. You want me to see everything good about you because there's negatives that you haven't acknowledged yourself. And one of these negatives is the fact that when something don't go your way, you want to run to social media like a little bluster. Some bluster ass shit. Like that's not attractive in women. That's not attractive in men. That's not attractive in any adult whatsoever. And again, the fact that you're really like, you stayed in the restaurant, like no one would have known about this. If you would have just left, took your L in silence, you could have taken either that time to work on yourself or try again. There is actually, I agree, there's a sickness that goes along with wanting to pick up your phone and broadcast to the entire world. Oh my God, y'all, I'm going through such emotional turmoil. Look at all these tears and all this sadness that I'm going through. Look at me. Why is this happening to me? Hashtag like and subscribe. And share. Don't forget to share with your friends.
Well, let me speak on that.
People crying in videos.
You're saying because of insecurities, he may have been throwing out monies, trying to
not even insecurities, just things he was lacking being emotionally stable.
Some guys got to do that though. Not, and it ain't always just because they're lacking, because they know they're not physically beautiful to
So,
most women, or they don't maybe have a personality that most women are going to be attracted to. And they know some women, if you do these
lacking
type of things,
personality.
they will go to you if you wine and dine them or you spoil them in that way.
That's what I mean about actually. That's what I mean about trying to attract women that you actually don't like. Because think about
Or
it,
I'll mislead.
if you have to lure somebody in with things that aren't innate to your personality, then that means you're going for someone that you're not innately attracted to. If you don't want to do all the things that you're doing in order to attract a partner, don't do them. But if you want to spend hundreds or thousands on a woman, if you want to just send her cash app or send her money to her cash app before you even get the chance to speak to her to know if she's worth your time or company, if you want to just book extravagant trips and just fly people out and get these women flued out, if you want to do that and you can, go the fuck ahead. But if you don't have the means to do that, and you don't actually want to do that, and anytime you do that, things don't go your way, you're running to social media like a little biz naive, then again, you're starting off a way that you can't continue to keep up. It doesn't always have to be you can't keep it up financially, or you can't keep it up in terms of community. You can't keep it up emotionally. You're emotionally tired of giving so much to people and not getting nothing. Well, maybe you're an emotional whore. You can be a physical whore. You can be a social whore. You can be a label whore, brand whore. You can be an emotional whore. You can want people's emotions and attachments without being able to truly facilitate any of your own, because you haven't done that shadow work. You haven't worked on yourself. You haven't taken that time by yourself to actually say, you know what? I need to work on what's wrong with me. So the things that keep going wrong with me and other people, I'll know aren't because of me. But we don't want to do that. We'd rather blame everybody else. And we use social media as a weapon to blame everyone else. Hey, look, y'all, because a woman could do this too. Hey, look, y'all, I'm fine as hell. I'm a bad bitch. Da, 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 da. Look at my body. And this nigga stood me up on a date. Can y'all believe that a nigga stood up a bad bitch? And there will be like 50,000 comments. Oh my God, bitch, I can't believe that nigga stood you up. But he probably stood you up because every third sentence you're referring to yourself as a bad bitch.
But see, what was the difference between men and women with that? When somebody says a woman got stood up and they're attractive or beautiful, people will go straight to that, because a lot of men put the value of women in their beauty. The value of men is usually not in their beauty, is in how they can take care of them, how much money they make, or vice versa, or how they can fight off other men to protect them.
Which all
You don't have any of
taken
them
care
making money.
of. Which all of that boil for a man, all of that, even if it's just your physical attraction, a woman translates that to, if I'm physically attracted to him, that means he's going to be able to take care of my needs sexually, visually, aesthetically. You're still providing some kind of care. For this gentleman right here, I don't think he provided nothing other than, like, the name in this woman's phone was probably a $sign with a clown emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what he gives off. There's some shadow work. Like, she probably picked up on the fact that the way he talked, the way he moved, the way he expressed himself, I don't think or feel as though he could defend me or himself. The way he does, the way he presented himself to me, the things that he illustrated that he is about. Oh, you got this, you got that. Well, I'm a C. Like, that's just like if a woman, if you present yourself on a sexual level, that's all a man is going to take you at. As a man, if you present yourself on a financial level, some women, that's all they're going to take you at.
But that's what he means when he says, when as far as protection, he looks like, he's too emotional. That's what he means when he says, nice guys finish last. And that may be true, because
what's nice
no
about
woman, well, the way he's acting like a woman, he's too emotional.
That's what I be getting lost on. Like, what do we mean when we say nice guy? Because honestly, do you like? Because what's the opposite of that? Do you want a mean man?
There's a middle ground somewhere. but he's too nice. Let's just say too nice.
I
Too
think we
nice
need to
guy.
stop saying nice guy. I think nice guy literally does
said-
not mean shit. I think we need to start saying, and not start saying,
Passive
good
guy.
men. Good men.
Passive guys.
Like, yeah, this guy is honestly, I think he's a narcissist. Like, more than anything.
I
Like,
can go
passive,
with
I
that.
think he's a narcissist. But yeah, like, I think we confuse nice guys with good men. Because
A lot of people
nice
call it-
guys
a lot
always
of
say
people
they
call it
have
beta
the
men.
attributes. Nice guys always try to make it seem like they have the attributes of what we would call a good man. I have a good job. I respect women. I this, that, third, like A, B, C, D. These are qualities that a good man would have. A nice guy literally means just that. Someone that is nice. Nice is a temperament, and guy is a gender. I am a even temperamented guy. That's all the fuck that means. I think that term nice guy literally just gets used because I think this dude wanted to illustrate that you could only get a woman's attention if you were a bad guy. Because that's what narcissistic men always try to do. They always try to flip it on women how they don't like themselves. How, look, I'm a nice guy and this woman stood me up, but I bet she would have showed up if I was a tattooed convict with like 3 kids. And it's like, and you feel that way because that's the kind of woman you're used to dating. You're used to going
There's
after
some
the
truth to
woman.
that. Yeah.
You're used to dating women who are attracted to those kind of men,
Yeah,
and
you're
you're
right.
just not that. And you want to
Yeah.
illustrate that by saying,
Why do you
I'm a
want
good
that type
guy.
of woman? Yeah. There's other women out there, so why you want that type of woman?
Why you want the bad bitch?
Yeah. So
Nice
yeah,
guys always want the
that's a
bad
good
bitch.
point.
Bad bitches always want good men.
That's a good point. Why would you go? Well, as Michelle said in her comment earlier, she was out of his league, possibly.
And what does
Why
out
go
of
for
his
the person
league
that's
mean?
out
Does
of
out of his league mean professionally? Does it mean she was out of his league financially? Does it mean she
personality
was
type or the look
personality type? How can you be out of someone's league personality wise?
Oh,
like, how do you even measure personality?
Easy. I mean, it's like what we're saying. She wants a bad guy type, or wants somebody that's a little bit more stern. He can go find somebody that doesn't care about a stern man. That's not many women.
But
that
see, I don't
want
see that
any
as being
sternness at all.
relegated to just the bad guy. I think a good man can
Yeah, I agree.
defend his woman and his children, can defend his castle. I think a good
Yeah.
man can do these things that we think a bad guy, a toxic guy, a whatever
That's the
the
extreme. Yeah.
certain insert adjective here guy can do. And it's an extreme of going back and forth like immediate. It's like when we have an argument about light skin versus dark skin, like everyone is just walking around black or white. You know what I'm saying? Like we have different complexions towards this diaspora of color that we exist in, just like there are different temperaments of men that exist. And what we're not really looking at is how this dude was behind closed doors. Because again, you just saying that you're a nice guy. No, here's the thing: men that are actually good men don't refer to themselves as nice guys. I've never heard a person that I consider to be a good man refer to themselves as a nice guy. Like, I've never just heard a dude say, "Yeah, I'm a nice guy." You know what I'm saying? I finish last from time to time. That's what I do. Like, no. Nobody refers to themselves as that. You're trying to refer to yourself as a hashtag, as a tag point, as something that he's referring to himself as a talking point so that he can generate some talking. Because again, I could have heard you better if you went to the fucking car. Why did you stand in the fucking restaurant to let me know? It's like you want my attention.
Capture that moment.
You're trying to capture this moment for virality. You want it to look as real as fucking. How do we even know this girl existed? How do we even know if he was supposed to be here on the date?
How we know she's alive? He didn't kill her.
I don't even think this motherfucker set up a date with anybody. I think this motherfucker just wanted to. I don't know what people want. I think people just want to be seen. I think people just want to be seen. People want to be heard, and people want to generate.
How we know it was even real? It might be just a way of him getting dates and people feeling sorry.
Even worse.
People do stuff for social media.
Some people want to generate, some people want interactions, and they don't care how to get them. They'll build them off of pity.
But let's just say we never even heard about this story. Please, I'm gonna come back to you. Let's just say you saw this guy's profile online. And you just saw how this guy looks, and he says, "I like to go on first dates and get flowers and go to fancy restaurants." Would you even giving this guy a chance?
You mean after he made that speech?
No, we don't even know the story. Let's just say you saw him online somewhere on a dating profile. Would you even give this guy a chance?
What am
Does
I
he
doing?
just,
What
does
I'm
he just
doing on a
look passive?
profile? I don't be doing no dating profile.
I'm just saying, hypothetical.
All
You
right.
know,
Hypothetic.
yeah.
So
Or you can do a real life situation. You see him at a bar and he try to talk to you. You want to do that way?
and what is he saying now?
You got nothing. You've seen how he talks up here. You've seen how he looks, and he's trying to spit some
But see,
game.
that's difficult.
I don't think it was.
Asking,
I don't think it
you're
was
asking
bad
her to
looking. I
judge
don't think
off
he.
of how she's already seen him
I don't think he was a bad
without
looking
knowing.
guy.
Hold on. Let us talk. Hold on.
He wasn't bad looking,
Okay.
but I just didn't like the fact that he went on social media and displayed his business. I didn't think that was cool.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard
That's
for
not
her
how
to
you handle
know.
things.
It's hard for her to see him outside of that because that's her
Yeah.
first instance of seeing him.
All right. I don't think that would be the first. If there were other guys besides him there that looked a different way, I don't think y'all would have gave him a second.
Because what does a nice guy look like? Like, let's be honest. Like, if we're like physical characteristics.
Oh, we know there's a type. We know Priesty got a type. Priesty, you got a type.
It wouldn't have been just about the way he looks, though, the way he carries himself, not just about his physical appearance. He
I'm just
carried
saying.
himself like he might have a little bit more feminine energy than I look for in my man. You know what I'm saying? So that for me would have been a turn off. Even if I had never seen the video or nothing. As soon as he opened his mouth and started talking, I'd be like, nah, he ain't the dude.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's not even about, that's outside of the video. That's outside of the video. His vernacular, the way he carries himself, his swag, I would have been like, nah, he not. His energy is not gonna match my energy. And it's not gonna be strong enough to hold what I'm gonna be throwing his way. So it's not even no use in me trying to waste my time. Yeah. That would have been like a project. And I ain't looking for no projects. So
do you think he would be too passive or too nice of a guy to be with you?
I don't know what's nice about this dude. Like,
I don't know. I don't know about the whole. I don't know about the nice part, but passive, yes.
Yeah, he probably have been just a buddy.
Yeah, see,
Hey,
y'all know.
Hey,
passive.
Been a buddy. Like, hey, how you doing, Henry?
I've heard plenty of times women say within the first 5 or 10 minutes going on a date with a person, they know not just if they're gonna be with them, that they even gonna sleep with them. Or they even got a chance. He even got a chance to even sleep with them based on how he look and how he sound. And y'all know if y'all will be with this guy or not. Yeah,
but see,
not off the video, but just how he looks and how he sounds. I don't think any of y'all will give him.
But see, we don't know how he sounded during that 2 weeks. Like, what if he sounds that way on the video because he's trying to put on the "I'm heartbroken." She didn't
videos in between that time.
But what if on the phone for those 2 weeks he had to, I'm just getting off of work.
Right.
He didn't even look like he had that in him.
But it's over the phone.
He didn't even look like he had that in him.
Because again, this is
and the other thing is just judging by the appearance part. Could be missing something good.
Could be missing a Mark Zuckerberg.
That's what I'm saying. You could be missing something good. You could be missing your blessing just by going by the appearance or what appears to be passive or whatever. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done it. I still would have been like, nah. But even in that, you could miss what is truly intended for you. Sometimes things don't come in the package that we think they're going to be, and sometimes it can still be, a good thing on the inside type thing. So.
I mean, I truly get that. I 100% understand. I have my fucking nose pierced. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here with a fucking head wrap on. Like, I'm not the typical standard of masculinity for, a lot of people, but it is a way in which you carry yourself. And I agree with Red. I think women can pick up on that sometimes, not even without even meeting you in person, but seeing how you communicate through text, like how you carry a conversation, whether it be through text, on the phone, FaceTime, whatever. and just what you're willing to do for them. I think like just on a male female level across the board, both genders, people will take from you what you are willing to give.
Your whole conversation could just make a person
But
be
see,
turned up.
And I think he either had, like you were saying, a Big Red, no personality, and he was either just talking
It's
about
not his first time being.
offer the things he
right,
can do.
I think he's been stood up before, or
and that's why he has to go to
My
money
phone is
or
breaking.
things. He has to go to money or gifts because he don't have a personality. He knows you guys ain't gonna want him with the person.
So that's not a nice guy. That's a manipulative guy.
Oh, I
That's a
agree.
guy that is
But
using what he has
also,
to get what he wants.
yeah.
well, I knew a
It's
woman.
also
She was
tragic
paying a
though.
man.
He
I
is a
knew a
hoe.
woman that was paying a man
Hmm.
so he could be with her.
That's bad too. That's tragic.
That's a
That's
mess.
crazy. I thought it was just she was paying him
Hmm.
to be with her.
That's just part of the game, I feel. But
Yeah, I do.
okay, go ahead, Dr. Moore.
Yeah, sorry. No, I do too. Actually, I got a lady up here paying my cousin to be with him, be with her. He don't have a job. Excuse me, he don't have nothing. And that
His
lady,
job is
mhm. You know what, Carl? Believe it or not, which is crazy, his cologne. Ever since then, she started paying them to be with him.
wow. That boy got
You know?
that DJ.
They don't have sex. They don't do anything.
Damn.
Wow, he really just so he got the PS5, the Xbox probably shit.
But see, when you are that you're that desperate to
Yeah.
be with somebody. It's almost like we were talking about this last week, with gas. You know, with gas you used to could just go and pay a pump of gas and go pay. And you start stealing it because gas became so valuable. So you had to prepay. This guy's version of it is he was prepaying for the date. Except he didn't get no gas, he didn't get no ass, he didn't get nothing out of it. So moving forward, what would you tell this guy moving forward? Would you tell him just wait to go on the date, knowing if he doesn't put this date on basically layaway, so he can put this on hold? Because that's basically what he's doing. He's putting her on hold, hopefully that he'll have a chance to go on a date with her and have a relationship with her. That's what he's doing. And as LT was saying, he's being manipulative, but he don't know no other way.
Hey, brother,
Get a date on hold.
just be patient. Just be patient. Somebody will come your way.
And be yourself.
It's
Like,
not gonna be his type though. That's the thing. Is she gonna be out of his league?
that's the thing. You'll attract your type to
She
you.
wasn't the
You're
one.
being yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you really leading with
wasn't
your
the one.
personality, the people that are attracted to you, well, that's the law of attraction. When you're putting yourself forward, that's what is going to be attracted to you. Like like this is how I know I'm getting old. I be listening to Drake, trying to still be a certain. And Drake is like literally one of my favorite artists. Like Drake got me through high school, my emotional ass, goddamn. But I literally be listening to this damn near 40-year-old man talking about how he can't find a good woman because you saying shit like I only American express my love. Because you leading with money first, nigga. You leading with your finances first. Every woman is gonna try to get pregnant by you and trap you and work a residual income from you instead of actually interacting with you on a personal level. Because you're not leading with your personality. You're leading with the things you can do for them. And guess what? Anybody can do things the same way you can buy her flowers. Another man can buy her flowers. And if that man is physically more appealing to her than you did the same thing he did, but he's got an edge. If you don't lead with your personality first, people are just going to interact with you based upon what you're giving. And if all you're giving is flowers, money, and a motherfucker, like a date is a lot because I got to sit down with you, give you my time and attention. If I can just get the money, if I can just get the things that if I can get you to pay my bills, if I can just get you to send me some shit for this, if I can get you to order me some DoorDash or some Uber Eats, I'm cool on that. But now you want something from me? I've already made my decision based upon how I want to interact with you, based upon what parts of you that I know. I know that you have money to give me. I don't know you to be a person that I personally would want to kick it with. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people, women sometimes lead with their pussy. Men lead with their pockets.
Back.
Right.
All right. Let's move on to we're gonna do this last story before we get off tonight. This I don't know if you heard this story. I think it was in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, where this lady had her kids and they were having a birthday party, if I'm not mistaken, and
I already don't like
they went to this restaurant and the kids were supposed to get something like apple juice, but it ended up being like a shot of liquor by mistake. Restaurant messed up. But that ain't really the problem I have in this story. Man, we'll talk on it and see if y'all pick on it as well when I play this video. Let's see if y'all pick up on what I picked up when we play the video. Here we go. Let's play it.
This sounds fun.
Accidentally served alcohol to young kids at a birthday party. The youngest one is just 3 years old. Channel 2's Larry Spruill live outside the sugar factory where this happened. And Larry, we were talking a lot about this today here in the newsroom. People at home watching now, they must be thinking, how does this even happen?
Yeah, well, George, that mother tells me they were celebrating her daughter's 11th birthday party here at the sugar factory last Thursday. She tells me it's what happened at the end of dinner that sent her daughter and her friends to the hospital.
Let me see the shot. Put them all up. Santa, let me see your shot. Put it up, Santa. Uh-oh. Period.
What started off as a celebration for an 11-year-old.
This tastes really like a shot. Because why it tastes really like a shot?
Quickly turned into a nightmare, says Soldier Purdue.
I couldn't believe it. It's something I never heard of. So I really was just like, how could they make this mistake?
Purdue recorded this video of her 11-year-old daughter's birthday dinner here at Sugar Factory off Peachtree Street in Midtown Atlanta on Thursday. She tells me the restaurant gave her and her guests complimentary drinks to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Alcoholic shots for the adults and juice for the kids. Well, so she thought.
This tastes really like a shot. Because why it tastes really like a shot? I start looking around. I miss looking at my daughter and seeing the other kids. They're making all faces like, ugh, I think it has liquor in it. I tell the manager, you know, what happened. And he's looking like disturbed. He's like, oh my God, I told them non-alcoholic shots.
Purdue also sent me this video of them filling out an incident report. You can hear in this video that they recorded an employee admits there was alcohol in the shots.
That's coconut rum, coconut lemon, and pineapple juice.
That's what I like rum.
So it's a 0.5 of coconut rum. Guys, nothing should come out of my bar that I'm not aware of. And it should not have been made.
Purdue tells me the restaurant told her she would hear from their corporate office about the situation. Since then, she reached out to Channel 2 Action News.
They're still not answering no calls. They're acting like nothing happened.
A restaurant accidentally served alcohol.
Okay. I'm going to see if any of y'all call what I call. I listened to this video. Priest, I'm going to let you go first on this one. What you think about this situation? You know, how you think they should handle this situation going forward? The lady that had the kids that accidentally drank liquor shots.
Major lawsuit.
Okay.
Are you ready? Go!
She gotta get a lawyers, because them kids, it could have been tragic. Shots for kids, children. I can't even handle a shot. And they're gonna give it to kids? No, that was a big mistake. Big mistake. Could have been deadly. So she gotta sue. She's definitely gonna sue. But that was a bad mistake. As I heard the gentleman say, he told them to give them non-alcoholic, so they should have had apple juice.
Mm-hmm.
So who was the server? Because everybody knows what apple juice looks like. So how did it was clear, isn't it? Wasn't it? It's clear. I'm assuming shots are clear. No? Like vodka or something like that? No?
No, not all of them. Some of them have Coca-Cola. You know, some have other things mixed in.
I don't know. Can't you smell it? I don't really drink. So shots, doesn't it have a strong smell to it? Not at all? Okay. I don't know. We already know she's gonna sue. It could have been really bad, and I'm glad that none of the kids didn't. They never said they got sick behind it or whatever, but maybe they just sipped it a little bit and realized, but it was a terrible mistake, and somebody got to pay for it. And they need to answer her because it doesn't look good that you're ducking. You know you were in the wrong. Just face the fact that y'all messed up. The bartender, whatever, y'all messed up. You got to pay for it. That's it.
All right. I'm going to go to Sparky T next. Sparky T, how would you have handled the situation? What advice would you give to that lady that had her kids accidentally drinking alcoholic shots? Tell us how you feel about it.
Are you ready? Go!
Well, the first thing I'm wondering is why is it that at an 11-year-old birthday party that we even emulating drinking in the first place?
There you go.
Why I get that this her birthday. I get that we celebrating, to turn up, all that. I get it. But why does it have to be that we emulating drinking with shots? Why they couldn't have, some kind of slushy? Why couldn't they have? But why did it have to be that you had them even imitating that they were taking the shot? A non-alcoholic shot, or this, or this, or that. Shots ain't meant to be non-alcoholic. Since they ain't meant to be non-alcoholic, they ain't meant for kids to have. So the fact that you're trying to make a non-alcoholic one is how y'all even had the opportunity to have this mix-up. If you keep everybody in their lane, businesses in their lane, kids in their lane, then you don't even have an 11-year-old trying to drink something that could possibly be alcoholic, because I'm not trying to instill in you at 11 years old that every time you got something good, you got to have you some alcohol. Every time you had something good, you want to have some fun, you had you some alcohol, get you a shot. And that's basically what you teaching the kid if at 11, y'all are practicing with shots. They show your shots. Let me see your shots. If you making videos, that video was probably originally for social media. It just happened to turn into what's probably going to be evidence because of what happened. But you all, you got them feeling like that's what they need to do. Drink alcohol, to have a good time. And even if you didn't say that, that's what you're implying by the drink needed to be in the form of a shot at 11 years old. And I think that that's kind of asinine. I mean, I get trying to be cool, and be with the culture and, do what's going on. But my thing is even with the little kids, like, is a business. Why do you even have that? I get why you got it, because it sells. Risque things sell. But damn, at some point, is there any moral compass?
Agreed. All right. LT, tell us what you think about the situation.
Are you ready? Go!
Exactly that. I'm gonna say honestly, this lady need to have her children taken, because so many times we see stories about a father taking his son to Hooters, and there's so much outrage over, oh my God, how could you be introducing this 9-year-old boy to sexuality and these women but Hooters is a family restaurant. It is branded that way. Like in some places, it's not even called Hooters anymore. And yeah, like now there's a 3-year-old child in the world that is going to be able to say, my first time at their AA meeting in like 20 years, when they're, submitting to Alcoholics Anonymous. My first time having an alcoholic beverage was when I was 3 years old at my 11 at my sister's 11th birthday party. And even though, yes, this is the mistake of the restaurant, I completely agree with Sparky T. Why did you want to celebrate your daughter's birthday with a alcoholic pastime? Like, keep things that are for children, and things that are for adults. Because if this was anything else, you don't want your children being introduced to the LGBT community without, or I'm saying, that's like, hey, these were supposed to be nicotine-free cigarettes. Why did you give my kids real cigarettes? Why did you want your children to celebrate in any way of them like that portrays or gets them used to the act of something that is toxic for them physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? And I'm gonna point this out too. Where the fuck are the fathers? Because I'm gonna be honest, young lady. The reason that you are probably here in this single mother situation with these tattoos on your face in Atlanta serving your children alcohol at their damn birthday is because you were probably a little too intoxicated one night when you were a little too young to handle your intoxication, and you ended up in a situation where you're now an unwed young mother. We need more men around because this shouldn't have fucking happened on a parent level.
All right. Dr. Lamar, what do you have to say about this situation that happened here?
I'm gonna have to
Are
agree with
you
everybody.
ready?
Oh, sorry.
Go!
I'm agreeing with everybody. This should not have happened. But if you had a restaurant, to me, it just seems weird that it happened that way because the liquor is totally not over there where the juice are. The liquor has its own bar usually in restaurants. So I'm not even sure how that even happened. But the second part is when you smell that alcohol, because like Bacardi, like some of them dark liquors you could smell. But I guess you couldn't, but it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't. And I mean, that liquor could have really done some serious damage to them kids. But no, it shouldn't have happened. That's but everybody else said what I wanted to say. But no, I'm gonna have to agree with everyone on this one.
Okay. All right. Let me go in right quick.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, basically, Sparky T and LT, they caught on to it first. Well, at least they said it first. I don't understand why you had to emulate such an adult activity. I always have beef with how they dress up little girls in like pageants and stuff, where they try to make them look like adults at like 6 years old. And almost the equivalent of this would have been if they would have had like a mini stripper pole in there and they let little 5-year-old girls go on it just because they want to imitate it. But they're not going all the way like a stripper, they're just going on the pole. Why would you want to imitate something that has actually ruined a lot of people's lives? I mean, I know people drink and have fun and stuff like that, but why would you want to do that to some kids? Here's another thing I don't know, nobody said yet that I caught on to. How do little kids know what liquor tastes like? They said, ew, it tastes like liquor. That's what I was wondering about. I was like, so they probably have had liquor before. They just didn't expect to have liquor at this restaurant. They thought they were getting apple juice, but they actually got liquor instead. They say, ew, this tastes like liquor. How would you know that? Unless the parent or somebody has put them in a situation where they say, hell no, baby, have a little bit of this beer and it ain't gonna harm you. I had the same thing when I was little. And I know people that do that to the little 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds. They give them a little bit of liquor, a little bit of beer and say, it's not gonna hurt you. Put a little hair on your chest. So that culture has been out there before in the first place. This is not the first time, I don't think, in my opinion, that they've been around liquor like that before and never actually had any. But there's no way a restaurant should even be celebrating something like this because it gives children the impression that they need to drink to be a functioning adult.
More than that, it gives children. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
More than that, it gives children the impression that because the first people that you look up to, that you idolize, are going to be your parents. So and just like you were saying, you're right. I didn't call, or I thought about that, but then I didn't think too much about it. These kids already know, or one of these kids at least already knows what liquor smells like or tastes like. And the fact that this is something that their mother wanted to do for them, with them on their birthday, suggests to me that this is something that your mother likes to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like taking your son to a basketball game. It's because you love basketball. You took your children out drinking because you love drinking. You are an alcoholic. And the fact that, boom, I love that it was set up. So you got an 11-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old or a 3-year-old child. This girl looked to be less about my age, 31 and under. I wouldn't even give her 30 years old. So that suggests to me that you got pregnant at a very young age, multiple times. And again, you're here without a husband, without a male to be, to help you take care of and raise these children. So I can only imagine that you conceived them on those nights where you had a little too much Jose Cuervo, on those nights where you had a little too much, a little too much Casamigos, on those nights where, what I'm saying, you were just too inebriated. And that had to happen to you at a young age again. So you giving your children, whether it be, you can blame the restaurant as much as you want. You took your children out to simulate drinking. That's just like you said, if I took my children out to simulate stripping on the pole, twerking on the pole, and one of them actually happened to take their clothes off, I can't be mad at the establishment for, oh my God, I can't believe y'all played this song that made my child want to take their clothes off and be an actual stripper. It's my fault because I took my child out to dance on the pole and emulate the act of stripping. It's a much deeper sickness. It's an addiction. And this girl got tattoos on her face. Well, no man at the table. Like I in Atlanta.
I don't want to judge, but yeah,
I don't want to judge. I don't want to generalize.
We all judge, though. We all judge.
But again, I literally scroll by the clips, or not the clips, but the articles about men that take their sons to Hooters to be around big titty women. And it's like, oh, it's the most disgusting thing a person could do for their child. I think this is equally as disgusting because you could set up your young son to be a sex addict, and you can set up your child, son or daughter, to be an alcoholic. Both can lead to your destruction. Both will lead to your destruction.
Thanks. Anyone else want to speak on this? RT, Breezy, Dr. Lamar, y'all have anything else to say?
Nope, I'm good. Trent summed it up for us.
Nah, I agree. Oops.
Think about it. Back in the day, you know how we used to have the candy cigarettes?
Yeah. I was just thinking about that. Thinking about that. Go ahead.
And I don't think that they sell them anymore. Like it's not something somebody was just saying the other day, like they don't sell them anymore. When we used to get them, they used to have a little red part on the end, like it was the fire and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They went away from having the red part on the end, even when they used to have them years ago. And then somebody was saying the other day they don't even sell them anymore because they don't want you, trying to indoctrinate these young kids with using these substances.
Mm-hmm. I actually I talked about that last week. I'm trying to remember who I talked about that with. I remember they sold those things. And, what's the harm in this?
Because they wanted kids to start smoking. They did. Yeah. Like tobacco companies are trillionaires. You know what I'm saying? Like they used to have that in their cartoons. I would always see Bugs Bunny rolling his own tobacco cigarettes and smoking them shits. Like I would always see that in the cartoon imagery. But after, more studies were shown and more parents groups were like, oh my God, they're trying to push these on our children. We need to stop. More white housewives that got mad about some shit and complained about some shit until it got to a legislative or judicial level. And that's why they stopped. And now they push other things on us. Yeah. Now they push sex. Now they push drinking. Now they push transitioning into the opposite gender.
I'll tell you even simpler the way they push bad stuff on you. As I always, y'all don't know, but I complain to other people about the gym, Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, of course, it's a gym. You think they're going there. You go in there to get healthy and get in fit shape, whatever. But they be having days where they'll have hot dogs and donuts and candy to give to their customers a customer appreciation day. Oh, and Chick-fil-A and stuff. You're like, well, why would they do that? Well, because they keep getting you fat. And if you keep messing up with your weight, you're going to keep coming back. It's evil genius.
It's literally just like the medical industry. I'm not going to sell you niggas a cure. I'm going to sell you some medicine to prolong your sickness so I can continue to make money off of your sick ass. Because if I cure you, you'll never need to come back.
You ain't lying.
All right. We're going to go to the last part of the show. We're going to go to the deepest thought. See what you guys can conjure up in your heads after you see this video.
Put it on the floor. Oh my God. Look me hot and fast. Don't act it brand. No. Oh my God. Oh.
Hemoglobin was
Yeah, I gotta stop going to Walmart that late. Stuff like that happens all the time, so especially the ones that are bad in town.
That was a
What
waste
the
of
hell was he
gas.
hollering about?
I don't know.
It's a song lyric. Rip me out the
Oh, is
plastic.
it?
I've been acting brand new.
Oh,
I don't know. I forget who
I
says
guess
it.
I just told my age because I'm like, what the hell is he hollering
Yeah,
about?
I
ain't
don't
even.
know who says it, but
Mine too, girl, because I didn't know what he was talking about.
it's a little bar. I forget which female rapper says it, but it's a little bar. Rip me out the plastic. I've been acting brand new or some shit.
Oh God.
Which is like, yeah, man, you really wasted, like, I'm gonna be Mr. Julius from Everybody Hates Chris. You really wasted $6.37 worth of plastic wrap so that you can run in here and disturb these peaceful Walmart employees while they ain't doing shit, just so you can get like 30 seconds on TikTok. I want to fight it so bad.
All right. That was the deepest thought. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Hostile Therapy, Dr. Lamar, Lord Trent,
Thank you,
Marky
y'all.
T, and Preezy. Thank y'all guys for coming on. Get some Hostile Therapy, and thank you for the audience for coming on and listening to Hostile Therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it. And we will see you on the next episode of Hostile Therapy. Y'all take care. Good night and peace.
Now, y'all, hey, yo, free Palestine.